Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back live from the Vibe. It's a wrestling classic. Justin here with D Law, Devin Law. We're back here for the TWC Show. One more week. We're still rolling. This is still going on. What's going on, brother?
Same old, man. Sick as a dog today.
That's the worst, man.
Yeah, that's all right,
I'm glad you made it here, though, man.
I got
really
my nice, sexy, sick voice going on.
The sexy, sick voice.
Yeah, it's the one you wish you had but can never achieve.
Sometimes people do that. Like, was it Friends? Where
Phoebe
got this.
She actually was good at singing for once.
Because she was sick, and then she didn't want to lose the sick voice. So
that's kind of where I was stealing it from.
No, 100%. But I was wondering, was it Seinfeld?
She's like, no, I have to stay sick.
I was like, what show was it?
Yeah.
But it was Friends. Yeah. Sexy.
You're always slow on the references.
No, well, I knew it was from something. I was trying to remember, but it wasn't. I got there pretty quick.
Yeah, you're pretty slow in that recess one a couple minutes ago.
Nobody knows about that because we weren't live on the air, so I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
I think the cameras
might have been making up stories.
The cameras might have been rolling. Maybe
making up stories over
the
here.
Producer to post a clip of it.
Anyways, talking about stories, we're going to talk about everything that went on this week, but there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about that we just never really got to. Last week was really fun. The panel was great. It was fun going to the draft.
It was a good time. I had a fun time. I felt like a lot of negativity, though. I'm hoping for a little more positivity.
I was going to say that because watching back, I'm like, we shat on the WWE a lot.
And I don't want that to be what this is about.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But it had to be done because it was really bad.
But I think that's what happens when you have more
than
the thing
was, well, we were also trying. Yeah, when you get in a group, you start talking about all the stuff that sucks. Like, because we're all like, we all want it to be good, and we're all kind of like embarrassed watching it. Like, why can't you just be good for me?
We can both admit, though, this week Raw and SmackDown were like a step up a little bit.
They weren't awful. To me, as long as it's not awful, that's a step in the right direction.
Because last week they were actually bad.
This has been a really bad year for shows, man. So, like, any show that's not awful, I'll take it.
They've had some good shows, but then, it's been a bad year.
Overall, it's been a bad year.
It's been a bad year.
And they've spent so much time on Rollins that, like, everything else is kind of suffering for it.
Rollins and Becky, a lot of it.
Yeah, but the women's division has gotten better. And other than the Lacey Evans stuff, it's been pretty good for most of the year.
No, that's true. On the Raw side of things, that's true. But I wanted to bring
Charlotte's on SmackDown.
That's true. She wasn't on TV this week. That's probably why it was better for you.
Thank God.
I noticed that. And I was like, hey,
SmackDown was still bad, though.
No Charlotte.
SmackDown was still bad, though. Just cookie cutter run in the middle.
There was only, like, if I look at my list of things that we're going to talk about today, there's only literally, like, 2 things I want to talk about that happened on SmackDown, but we'll get to that. What I want to talk about is something we talked about on the drive here last week, but we never really talked about it because we did the draft panel and we got caught up with AEW and stuff, is the Edge thing. Because on the drive, sometimes you and I, when we're driving here, we end up having conversations.
But we try not to. I can tell you don't want to. You're always like, save it for the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, me and you used to text like all day, like most of the day. And now it's just like, we kind of don't even talk
during
the week anymore.
That's a weird thing because like, I don't want to talk to you about wrestling because I'm like, just save it for the show. But then like, you're the person I talk to about wrestling.
Yeah, it'd be too like, even when I was living in Scotland, it'd be like for me, maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. It'd be like, all right, talk to Justin after all kind of thing. Right now, it's just like, I think we both kind of just like, we'll just save it for the Thursday.
I would be
Wednesday.
At work when you would be watching Raw, and I'd be like, this guy's gonna mess with me, but like, I'd get excited.
And like the thing is too, I was always used to watching it on PVR, so a lot of the times I'd watch it live. It'd starts 1 a.m. their time. Yeah. But then I would have to watch it with commercials.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it on the US feed. The Chris Lee Knows Best commercials.
I will say this, though, that's a good point because I do think this week's Raw went by a little bit fast for me because I watched it later and I got to forward the commercials.
You know what, though? I think, too, since like the last month or two, I'm not saying it has anything to do with Heyman, but around the time they announced Heyman, the shows haven't gotten a lot better, but they're laid out a lot better.
They flow better.
I don't feel like it's dragging, and I find myself fast-forwarding less. Yeah. But I mean, it's good. It's the third hour hasn't felt like death, at least.
Yeah, I do feel like I still get at the third hour. I do still kind of get drained. I'm like,
Raw still got that feeling though, where you just know like nothing's really gonna happen. It's just the way it looks right now. It just doesn't look like a big time show.
It doesn't.
Like the way AEW looks with the crowd, with the lights, with the camera shots.
The production looks
everything feels like just the way it's like just done so sharply. It always feels like something's going on. You can't really take your eyes off it. Yeah. Whereas Raw, you're almost conditioned now to start looking at your phone.
No, 100%. There was a few times in Raw where I had to rewind because I'm like, I missed totally what happened there, and I got to go back and watch because I'd pick up my phone and I'd start doing something.
Yeah, so what you want to say about Edge?
You claim that you think he's making a return. Like, you just randomly asked me, you're like, when do you think Edge is going to make his return? And I was like, what do you mean? I
think now there's rumors about it and stuff, but that one day where he came back on that Smackdown and did the spear, it's just
SummerSlam.
Like, it was the day after. It was day after.
Wasn't it on Toronto before the pre-show?
Oh, right. So what I was just thinking is, like, as far as what I know, just from reading and listening to podcasts, if you're not cleared, you're not cleared. Yeah. So they used to do where you hear about, like, limited clearance, like a guy like Foley might be able to take a bump or something like that. But from what I understand, like, I could be 100% wrong, and chances are I am. But from what I understand is if you're cleared to do a spear, you're cleared to do everything.
No, 100%. And
especially a move like that with the injury he has and had.
And he actually took no bumps.
He probably went and got those stem cells done, man, which was what everybody's doing right now.
Which is a big thing going on the stem cell stuff. I know like Ryback's doing a bunch of others.
Going to South America getting their stem cells and just their whole bodies are changing.
You make a good point because Edge was one of those guys similar to Danny O'Brien where, correct me if I'm wrong, because he's been retired since 2010. That's 9 years. I don't remember him really taking any moves or bumps since he retired.
And Daniel Bryan's was a little bit different, but I understand what you're trying to say. It was a little bit different because it was just a WWE doctor that wouldn't clear him. Yeah. Where Edge, it was like no doctor was clearing him.
But I'm trying to pull the comparison of the fact that Daniel Bryan took no bumps the entire time he was retired. So when he did that first thing with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, it was such a big deal. Like, whoa, we haven't seen this guy get physical since they told him he couldn't wrestle no more.
Yeah.
Where with
I'm just thinking if he does a spear, he's got to be clear.
Yeah, and
he's made it pretty clear in his podcast that he wants to come back. And now all of a sudden that there's rumors he's coming back. He's like, he's doing the thing everybody does. No, there's no chance of that. I'm not coming back.
Yeah, and then
wrestle anymore.
Talking about the podcast,
they could really use him.
You made a really good point that why would he leave the podcast?
Yeah.
When they were just killing.
He's like, I got to be a full-time dad now, which is respect to that. That's great. You know, Beth is doing a lot of the work while he's been acting and doing this and
great
that.
Commentary in NXT.
But I'm sorry, I think you got an hour or two during the week to just talk to Christian while somebody else does the producing and all that. You do a little bit of research on the internet. I don't buy that you had to stop the whole podcast, which I think was pretty popular. To be a full-time dad. I don't really buy that. I'm not, and maybe he just didn't want to do the podcast anymore and use that as the reason. Yeah. I won't say excuse because it's not an excuse. He has 2 young kids and
100%.
Respect to him.
But I thought that was a really good point because realistically, it's just an hour of the day that he talks to Christian.
And it's like it makes me think it might even be on Raw because everybody's expecting it to be SmackDown.
Maybe. But
I'd love for him to come and just take
all
that
those
belt
little
away
details,
from
him doing the spear, the whole him leaving the podcast. I thought maybe he left the podcast because his acting schedule got busy.
He's been really quiet.
But he has. He did deny rumors. You're right, but I just wanted to bring that up because he brought that up last week in the car. Obviously when we came here, the show went a whole different direction with the draft analysis and everything. But I thought that was an interesting fact because I was like, that is true. He did leave the podcast. That's another sign. He did the spear. He's taking bumps again.
I just figured everybody was thinking it.
They have.
Right from when that spear happened, I think everyone was.
They have a lot of people have been saying, "Well, when does Edge come back?" And I think there was one of those news websites that made a headline that Edge is cleared to wrestle again, and it was a big deal for how social media works. It was a big deal for a week, and then everyone moved on to the next thing. But so when you brought it up. Obviously, I read stuff like that, and I'm very skeptical about everything I read on dirt sheets and stuff, and I'm always like, I
mean, it'd be dope to hold it off till Rumble if we're fantasy booking here.
Yeah.
I mean, chances are he's not cleared and will never wrestle again, but let's just say he is, right?
Yeah.
It'd be dope if they could hold it off till Rumble because we've been, haven't been getting the same kind of surprises that we'd always like.
No, 100%.
But if the shows and the trends of ratings are going to continue, they're going to have to bring him back sooner.
One last thing, then. Before we move on from Edge and this whole scenario, because I thought it was really cool and I really wanted to touch on it and get your guys' opinions. If you listen to this, let us know what you guys think about Edge coming back, if you think it is going to happen. And answer my next question I'm going to ask Devin right now. If Edge was to come back, who would you like to work with first?
Rollins. Beat him.
Rollins?
Beat him. I would have said Kofi.
Yeah.
Rollins, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles.
I think Rollins would be a good one. There was a point where that seemed like
Andrade,
want to see.
Drew McIntyre.
I think he needs to come back and start with the top guy, and then he can work down with the mid-card guys.
Come and beat Corbin up.
That's a good one, too. That is a real good one.
Come and beat
Who
Corbin
did he spare? Elias?
Corbin can lose from now until the end of time, and it won't hurt him at all.
No, not at all. But working with Edge is a great thing to just generally for anybody. Working with a legend like
Heel
that.
Andrade. Heel Styles.
I think Styles is a great one, too.
Look what Styles did with Cena. He could do just the same thing with Edge, man.
No, 100%. There is, this is totally not even on my list of things to say, but I'll say something about Cena. He's gone more of the time than usual now. I was a big anti-Cena guy for many years, as you know.
You still are.
And no, ever since 2012 when we started putting guys over like Punk and Bryan and Owens and stuff, I started getting I respect him.
No, it might have been 2016, 2017.
No, I'm never going to say I'm a big Cena fan, ever. Till the end of time. I'll never, for me personally, Cena will never be on my top 10 list or top 20 list. He wouldn't. But I will say, from 2012 when he started working with Punk and stuff and forward.
No, it wasn't. You hated all that. You hated all the stuff with Orton. You hated all of it. You didn't kind of mind it when he started wrestling with Styles and he wasn't around all the time.
No, for sure. But I just mean I was okay. 2007 and 2012, I really hated him. When other guys started being in the main event spot more, I was like, okay, you're right. I didn't like him. I still don't at that point. 2016 when I really came out. But 2012 when he started working with guys like Bryan and putting them over and they were beating him. Because the thing I hated about Cena time is he'd work with great guys and he'd just beat them. when guys started beating him, I was like, okay, that's okay. Then when you start having good match with Styles guys, yeah, for sure. Then it kind of started turning around like he's okay. The thing I was gonna say about Cena though, it is kind of unfortunate that he is. I wouldn't want him to be around all the time.
We could use him right now.
I would be, but I don't want to. I might regret my words right now. But
Cena and Rollins had a good feud.
They did. That's what I mean. The Cena Rollins. Once he started putting people over, the stuff he did.
That
with
was when Rollins came in the white suit, right?
Yeah, the stuff he did with Punk and Bryan and KO, like everybody he worked with at that time, like after he was done his run of
the United States Open Challenge kind of era.
Yeah, it was good. Once again, I'm still not the biggest Cena fan. He'll never make my top 20 list personally, but I get who he is. And I always said if I was to run a wrestling company, he's the type of guy I'd want working for me.
You have a top 20 list?
Yeah, I do.
Get a life, man.
What do you mean?
Top 20.
You don't have a top 20?
I mean, top 4 or 5 maybe, but
I have a top 10 for sure.
20?
Yeah, well, I did it for the page, and then that's what stuck. It was like a way to get followers to follow. Like, I'm gonna do top 20 every day.
You did
drop
top 20 on your page?
Yeah,
with like a really super long, corny story about underneath.
100%.
Oh, okay.
And every post, every post I do like a special.
Since I was a kid, I've been making top 20 lists.
No,
I always had a dream to put a top 20 list on Instagram,
and I did.
Even though Instagram wasn't a thing.
I did. And then basically, what was I going with the same thing? It'd be cool to see him work with guys like Andrade and guys he hasn't worked with who are on the roster now. You know. The Aleister Blacks and stuff. I'd be hyped for that.
Yeah, I don't know if he get. I don't know if you don't want Aleister right off the back. He'll hurt you.
No, but I just mean like working with those guys. But like the guys that we might never see him work with potentially. It'd be cool, man. It'd be some guys on there that'd be really hyped about.
Cena Andrade, man, let's get it.
That'd be nuts, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is quick shout out to everyone I got to meet over the weekend at the NXT Live show. It was a good show, man. We saw Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle. We saw Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler. Dakota and Tegan versus Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne. We saw Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest. It was a solid card from top to bottom. And the biggest thing of the night was the farewell of the Street Profits to NXT. That was the last show on the tour, last show with NXT.
They did Vancouver before Kelowna?
They did Vancouver, and I don't think they went to Kelowna, the Street Profits. I think they headed back because they were on Raw the next time.
Right.
But the rest of the crew went to Kelowna.
Kelowna was a Sunday, I think, right?
Yeah. So then the fair, so they had like one went at like Scotty 2 Hotties, like to turn it up. I'm like, Rikishi? I was really confused.
Yeah.
And then Scotty 2 Hotty came out with Norman Smiley, and all the baby faces of the NXT roster came out, and they did a little farewell thing and a little speech, and it was really cool, man.
That's pretty dope.
It was a good show.
How was the crowd?
Obviously it's Vancouver, and it was at the PNE Agrodome, and it wasn't sold out because
it's never sold out here.
I think if it was, it wouldn't sell out.
We'd show up, but all they give us is like, that's actually a really good house show card.
Yeah.
But they usually give us really bad house show cards.
100%. And I was gonna say, like, if it was like a main roster event, I think that might have pulled more. I don't think casual fans of Vancouver know what NXT is to the level that we probably should. But it was like,
but if it was like a takeover or a TV taping,
for
everybody
sure
would show up.
Just because it's an event, then it's a different vibe. We usually get house shows here. Someone actually asked me when was the last time we had like a taped show here in Vancouver, and I'm like, maybe 2003.
Yeah. I remember going to a house show in '97. It was Stone Cold and Hunter Hearst Helmsley on top, dude. Sweet. Dude, I remember we were sitting in the upper deck and it was packed. Like I remember Stone Cold stunned China. Just got to see Kane's entrance. All these guys, like, it was a dope show. Yeah,
they used to have Raws,
but
here
now there's nobody
too.
Here. Like, when I see all the guys collectively, I'm like, okay, I feel like going, and I'm a big fan. But to people who aren't big fans, it's like, oh, do I really want to? And then when you get there, the whole half of it's like empty, or one side's completely empty, or like you're only like, I don't know. It just kind of takes you right out of it when you see like the house show crowd. You're just like, ugh. Yeah,
but I will say this: the crowd that was there was a lively crowd. They were hardcore fans because they were active, they were loud, and the best is when it isn't that packed and they're still loud.
Yeah.
That's like almost like it kind of throws me back to when I went to Stomping Grounds. Like it wasn't a sold out show.
That was a really big dome though.
But the audience was loud, and and that makes a difference. And I can even say the same thing about AEW this week. I don't know if you caught it, but at one point,
was Stomping Ground Ambrose's last show or something like that?
Maybe. I don't know if he's on the card.
Something like that.
But it was that whole Seth Becky phase, right? Against Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin. But that
was Stomping Grounds, eh?
Yeah.
So that was right after WrestleMania?
Like a couple of months after. It was Extreme Rules and Stomping Grounds.
No, yeah, Sam Ambrose wouldn't have been on it.
Yeah, but I was going to say, so I don't know if you caught on AEW, at one point when Cody was going to go run up against Jericho, they kind of showed the other side of the arena, and it was a lot empty. But that goes to my fact again, it doesn't really make a difference when the crowd that is there is active and loud. Because you wouldn't even be able to tell.
Yeah.
So I started thinking differently about it, because most of the time you see people post pictures of like a half empty arena.
That's one thing. Raw and SmackDown has been crickets lately, except for that Denver crowd.
That's true. But anyways, the NXT Live show was great. I got to meet a lot of cool people there. People that follow the page from like Brazil, all day from Brazil, a bunch of people.
Why are they here?
He's here on a student visa. He just
nice.
came in for like a year or something. But he's like, I was hoping I'd bump into you and get to meet you.
Shout out to Brazil guy.
Shout out to him, man. He does like judo and jiu-jitsu and stuff. He's a really dope guy. I met a bunch of people I've talked to regularly, and we DM each other. They're really active on the page, and then I ran into them. They told me their username, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, it's so cool to finally meet you in person and stuff. It was a solid night. It was a good show, and it really made me want to tune into NXT this week, which I actually did. I streamed it right after I watched AEW. I had a break. I watched Total Divas in the middle to kind of give myself a break. But
that's your break?
That was a break. That was full wrestling. It was a full block of wrestling.
You blow my brains out watching Total Divas. I do miss your little recaps, though, and you used to send me random videos of the funny stuff. Well, that's all you'd send me, like a good 1 minute kind of video of that, and it would always be them saying something so stupid that they're trying to pass off as serious. I
don't want to dive into Total Divas too much, but
we never are going to.
There's certain things that are missing now. Like those funny things used to come from like the Cenas when he was on the show, the Tyson Kids and the Rusevs and stuff, but they're not really on the show this season.
It's such a weird group of I wouldn't consider any of them to be friends with each other.
Yeah, but the guys were always funny in the show. There's one thing I will say about Total Divas, if you're a male fan, like if you want to see your favorite male wrestlers in their own element, just being actual humans and funny and stuff, like Total Divas you'll see, because Rusev was always hilarious.
Cena being a robot.
Tyson Kidd was always funny. The Uso that's married to Naomi, he's always funny. Like, they're actually funny on them. You get to see their real personalities. And those are the clips I'd always send you, because Rusev would always say funny ass shit. Cena would say funny ass shit. Like, that was the good stuff. But I did that, and I watched NXT. The show live was great. Should we do a stupid Instagram comment of the week from Montana of 300? Or
if you got one set up.
I'll read it to you right now. I know exactly what it is. So I posted about AEW. I posted their AEW Dark match. It was a 6-man tag with the Bucks. It was an 8-man tag.
You're still trying to get in good with Matt Jackson, eh?
It was the Bucks. No, I was just promoting because I watch and I enjoy. I enjoy Dark. My Tuesdays pretty much consist of me watching NWA Power. Yeah. Shout out to them. Great show.
I've seen clips of it. I haven't really watched it. I was talking to my buddy from Scotland today who was talking to me about it. And he's like, he knows what I like and stuff. And he's like telling me, like, I would actually recommend you check it out. A lot of the matches are really good. There's
some boring matches and there's good matches. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But that's like any show.
He's definitely one guy who knows what I like. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out.
And the debate got rowdy. But like, there's good matches and there's boring matches. And like... it's a show that where half the matches are recorded either before the show and some of the matches
I thought AEW Dark was going to be like the Joey Janela show, but now they actually brought him on real TV.
Yeah, and he wasn't on Dark this week, I don't believe. Yeah. But it was cool. No, he wasn't Dark because he finally beat Brandon Cutler and then got his first win. But it was it's a pretty cool concept. They have Tony Schiavone at the what's it called?
The event center.
The event center. And they have him doing his thing, and he also shows video packages and interviews. Like, they had an exclusive promo with Pac on there about his match coming up with John Moxley and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty dope show. Solid matches. They had a street fight.
How was Taz?
Taz was good. This was his first episode. He was commentating for AEW Dark now.
He's good. Apparently, he really wants to commentate on wrestling again.
Yeah, and why not?
I was listening to his podcast yesterday, and he was saying his contract with CBS is coming up in January, so he's trying to get something going for next year.
He was never horrible.
No, he was always good.
Yeah, he was good. I loved it. He
just got busy doing radio.
I loved him and Michael Cole together in those early Smackdown
They were good, man. They were a good team.
Yeah, solid team. Here comes the pain, man. That was all Taz, right?
Yeah.
Montana 300 though. He's a rapper.
3,000 or 300?
I think it's 300. Montana of 300. And those of you who don't know,
3,000 on your notes.
I know. That tells you a lot, right? He is a rapper. He's
not very good.
I don't know. I haven't heard much of his stuff, but he followed the page for a long time, and I do appreciate that. Like, it's solid that he supports, and he's very active on the page. But usually comments and whatnot, but this one actually got like at least 40, 50 replies on it of people just debating. He started a debate under this AEW Dark post.
In your post?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he commented saying, looks like some serious cheesy circus clown shit. I know all the legends can't even sit and watch this comedy and even try to be proud. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in this sense. The match did have a lot of flippy stuff. It was a very dark
But didn't you do one of those things where it's like multiple videos?
Yeah, it's a whole match, but I cut it up to 10 minutes.
What match?
It was Cody, Dustin, the Young Bucks versus Sema, another guy from Japan whose name I don't remember at the moment,
match?
And the Private Party. Yeah, it's a dark match. So it's on AEW Dark, so it would have been either after the show or before the show. I'm guessing after the show, send the crowd home happy. Let's have a fun match. This is after last week's episode.
But it's just like 99% of legends probably would watch that and be like, you don't need to do all that.
No, and it's true. He's not wrong. And I
haven't watched it, but I'm assuming a lot of it's Private Party doing their thing.
Private Party and the Bucks. You know, you kind of already know what to expect. And there's some funny stuff where Brandy does a dive onto everybody. Everyone goes for a dive one after another. And then MJF gets a spot where he pretends he's gonna go for a dive, and then he does the FU thing.
Those constant dives really just take me out of it.
No, 100%. So and then I tried to respond.
So he got roasted.
I tried to be similar. I tried to be fair. I'm like, I feel you. I feel like AEW tries to give people a buffet of different styles of wrestling. You may not like this, but then you'll see a match you might enjoy.
There's gonna be something else on the show for you.
You might enjoy because it's a different style. And like wrestling has evolved, almost like an argument in hip hop where it has sub-genres under the same main genre. I'm like, there's something for everyone. That's just my take, though.
Yeah.
Because there's mumble rap, there's old school, like there's different genres of hip hop under just hip hop.
Yeah.
Like wrestling's kind of like that now too. It's not just like shoot wrestling. It's like there's shoot wrestling, there's flippy wrestling, there's technical wrestling, there's like all different hardcore wrestling. There's different kinds, right? That's what's happened to professional wrestling. But a lot of other people were not happy about this comment, dude. Get over it. This isn't the 1980s no more. This is a show where they give the crowd fun content. Then people start fighting about if this is really a dark match or not because it's aired on YouTube. Like, how is it a dark match? Dark match you aren't supposed to see. Like, like it just got wild.
How do they know? Are they wrestling promoters? Are they in the wrestling professional wrestling business?
No idea what's going on here. But my point is this.
I'm not going to sit here and talk about. I talk about wrestling on this show here. I'm not going to pretend I know the technical, proper, inside definition of a dark match. Like, shut up.
But do you agree or disagree?
Disagree with what?
The fact that maybe it's a little bit too circusy and jumpy with AEW.
See, but I'm pretty particular with my language. I wouldn't say it's too circusy or anything like that. I'll just say this shit ain't for me.
No, 100%. That's what I was saying.
I also wouldn't comment on it either because I don't feel the need to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because those just seem like a really negative comment.
Like if you're talking about it and you're like sent me the clip and said, "Hey, check this match out," and I didn't like it, I'd text you and be like, I thought that was garbage.
And we've had that conversation with like, matches after every show.
I just don't feel the need to comment on any kind of post or tweet or anything like that.
No, I agree with you. I just felt like it was very. I'm glad
did more people disagree?
A lot of people disagreed. A lot of people obviously came to defend AEW and stuff. But
AEW doesn't need your defense. They're doing all right.
100%. And that's the same thing that happens on all my. What did you think about AEW this week?
And the thing is, if somebody posted that if somebody posted that to like Cody or something like that, he'd say the same thing. He wouldn't hate on him or try to. He'd be like, "Listen, man, like maybe that's not for you, but check this out." That's what I said.
I'm like, I feel ya. I get it because you might not enjoy this, but there's other matches on the show.
Fans get way too territorial, man. People are allowed to have their opinions. You're allowed to have yours too. Like, you know what? Not everybody thinks AEW is as great as you think it is, and so a lot 100%. Of people do think it's as great as you think it is. So what, man? You don't have to like. It's not a personal thing.
But anyway,
you're allowed to enjoy what you enjoy.
I agree with you 100%. I think if any of you guys want to jump in the conversation, though, every week when I post about AEW, I post about NXT on Wednesdays, the debates and the conversations get heated. People really get defended. If you want to read what I'm talking about and read these comments, just scroll through. Those like 150 comments under my AEW post, or 200 actually, like 100 something under my NXT post. It's literally just people like, oh, this is better than NXT. This is better than
all AEW. Those people who commented more on the NXT post. Why are the ratings so much down? Why don't you watch?
Exactly, but
God damn it.
I still think there's that thing about AEW being live and new, and NXT.
NXT is live.
I know, but I think people are used to watching it on the stream, like like watching it after.
I think I'd like to see the numbers on the network and on PVR.
Do you think it's better on the network?
Because you can find like people post the numbers post PVR. I forget what the name. There's a technical name for it.
Yeah.
But all we're seeing is first watch numbers. Really.
That's true. But yeah, I want to bring that up. It's not really a stupid Instagram comment anyway, because take that back. But it was an interesting Instagram comment.
And I'd be very surprised if NXT ratings aren't a little better next week because of how good this week's show was. And that's what I was saying. Like, this week's show will be reflected in next week's ratings.
Well, they definitely did something to get people talking. That's
the whole show was good.
Show. Oh no, from top to bottom.
Both shows were great. It was a great Wednesday.
It was a solid Wednesday. Both shows.
If they're going to be doing that every week, we're all winners. Both
shows stood out, left a better impression on me by today or this Thursday than Raw or last week's Smackdown did, 110%. Not that Raw and Smackdown were bad this week; they were a step up. But NXT and AEW
were just... to look at this to even remember what happened on Raw.
NXT and AEW were just so much better and more entertaining.
I like how you did it short and just wrote Kane Val.
Yeah,
Kane Val attack Shelton.
I was trying to.
But you'll write out McIntyre.
No, because when I type McIntyre on my phone, it fully just comes out.
What else did you write out? Shinsuke, not just Shin.
Oh, man.
Kane Val.
Kane Val. Maybe I don't know how to spell his last name. Maybe that's part of the reason.
Roderick, not Rod. You just write Baker or Britt Baker.
Are you just making fun of my notes now?
Kane Val.
Another thing I want to talk about.
Hello, ladies.
Another thing I want to talk about really quickly before we jump into NXT, because I want to start with NXT this week, actually, because I'm excited about it. I made a post today, and I posted a picture of Bret Hart, a really cool picture of Bret Hart from Bret Hart Dungeons page that he found. And Instead of just posting the picture and just saying go, I'm like, let's ask a question. I ask people a question that's been asked a billion times, and I'm sure we've all seen the answers a billion times. But I like asking like at least once a year because I think it changes every year. And I said, if you could have Bret come back in his prime today, who would you like him to wrestle of the current roster? Obviously, there's a bunch of people that said people that aren't
current
around.
roster.
Yeah, and a lot of people said like Kurt Angle. And,
I was gonna say
CM Punk. Yeah, but I'm like, those are great answers. Don't get me wrong, but they're not here. Like out of the current roster of all wrestling, not just WWE, AEW, this and that. Well, obviously, we got a lot of Kenny Omegas.
Kevin Owens, AJ Styles.
We got a lot of AJ Styles, a lot of Kenny Omegas, a lot of Seth Rollins. A lot of KO came up a lot, but I think the one that stood out to me, there's a couple, an Undisputed Era came up. Anybody in that group, I thought all of those were great. Like him versus Kyle O'Reilly, him versus Bobby Fish, him versus Adam Cole. I'm like, hell, have him go through an Undisputed Era gauntlet. It would be great. But the one that it was not, like, it didn't surprise me really, but I didn't really think about a lot. That would be really good. Were you
shocked?
I wasn't shocked at all.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say that word, but I knew you were going to call me on it. The one thing that didn't surprise me that much, but I didn't realize I wanted to see it as bad as I did until now, and I think it's because his current character and who he is today compared to who he was in 2014 is I actually really would like to see current day Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart in his prime. That would be like, I don't know why I think
I feel like it'd be boring.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah,
I think it would be one of those matches.
I think with the right story, it'd be really good.
I also think you're right.
If they gave it to us cold, it'd probably be boring.
But I think you're right. It might be one of those matches that starts off boring and then gets good in the middle and then has a great finish. But I was like, that's a really good one. Another couple that people...
don't get me wrong. Bret Hart's like my favorite wrestler of all time.
No, for sure.
You guys never had a bad match.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I think that's why all these answers get. Other answers were like Cesaro, which I think was a great one.
Daniel Bryan's like the marquee indie darling kind of answer.
But it was a good one, I thought. I liked it. Because Kenny Omega's... Sure. AJ Styles a lot. Seth Rollins a lot. But everyone's like, it needs to be like heel Seth. I liked Cesaro. That was the one that I didn't see
That's
coming.
a really good one.
Another one that was really good. So Daniel Bryan was one. Another one that I didn't think of at all that people kept bringing up was Johnny Gargano.
Maybe.
I'm like, there's something that could happen there.
Maybe.
One that people didn't bring up a lot, but when someone did comment it, I'm like, you know what? I think they could tell a good story.
Big Show.
Big Show would be great.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen in WCW?
Probably. No.
They didn't cross paths.
No, they must have, because he went there in 97, 98. Big Show came in like 99.
But I don't think they ever.
I'm sure they did on like a Thunder. On like a Thunder or something, I guarantee.
Maybe in a tag match or something?
I don't know. Google it after.
Oh, well, but Samoa Joe.
Oh, see, that's one I can get into.
That would be so, because Bret always worked good with big guys, and that's a good story they could tell. Then Samoa Joe's got submissions and stuff too, you know?
Yeah, that'd be. I'm just like picturing in my head now. That's sick.
And one person said that. I'm like, that's one. Like, those are the two that really struggles.
That's a main event or co-main event right there.
Daniel Bryan, Johnny Gargano, and Samoa Joe. I'm like, that's a great answer.
Oh, I love Joe, man. I miss him.
Another thing that stood out to me today through the social media world is I posted a picture of Ken Shamrock, and this just came to me because I posted a picture of Ken Shamrock.
Did you watch his Impact match?
I did not.
It was decent.
But against Moose, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch Bound for Glory?
No, I watched the Shamrock part though.
Okay, I didn't watch any of it, but I heard it was a pretty decent show from top to bottom. I heard the ladder match was really good.
They haven't had a bad show in a while.
No, they're actually doing really good.
They've been keeping steady, staying the course, man.
When you look at all the wrestling you have to watch, it's kind of lower on my list, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
not as low as Ring of Honor though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like, we're talking about that today. I'm wearing this Marty shirt from Lapel. Yeah,
he can't wait to get out of there.
And you were saying how big of a Marty fan I used to be, and I was, and I still am.
How can you be a fan of him? Nobody even sees what he does.
But I'm like, I just haven't been watching stuff. Get
PCO out of there too.
I'm like, I haven't been watching Ring of Honor stuff to be that same fan that I was. I love Marty. Marty's the man. I'm telling you, the moment he comes to AEW, which I think is inevitable, I'm gonna be so happy. But it's just him and Ring of Honor. I can't sit there and be like, you know. But shout out to Lapel. Yeah, thanks for the shirt. Really appreciate it. I was looking for a shirt to match his jacket. This is the closest I could get.
Midnight Society.
Yeah. This show is being submitted for approval of the Midnight Society because they know ChalkLine.
Great show. I used to scare the crap out of me. I used to watch right before bedtime.
It actually used to scare me when I was a kid too.
Are You Afraid of the Dark and
Both they'd come on back to back. 8:30
or 7:38.
It was nuts. But Are You Afraid of the Dark? Really, really
YTV Channel 25.
The best.
Yeah.
Do you remember that little purple thing?
Watch The Zone after class.
The Zone, that little purple thing. Yeah. Talk. But anyways, shout out to ChalkLine too. Actually, I was gonna do that later, but this new Are You Afraid of the Dark jacket, you can get it from ChalkLine.com. Super dope jacket. And once again, if you're listening to this show, you get an exclusive promo code TWC15. Save 15% on this Are You Afraid of the Dark jacket or any other jacket you like, whether it's classic wrestling, current wrestling, their hip hop related jackets and Nickelodeon related jackets. They got all the stuff. Their shorts, their tracksuits, their shoes. They sell so many different varieties of things now, other than just jackets, that you can save by using TWC15 on ChalkLine.com, man. Yeah, once again, this show is being submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. But I was going to say something. Oh, the other thing about Ken Shamrock that I didn't realize that I wanted is because someone's like, oh, I'd love to see Ken Shamrock come to AEW, and I don't know who they suggested fight this person. I was like, no, what would be dope just for like a fun random match on a takeover is Ken Shamrock versus Matt Riddle. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a great idea.
It's weird though. Like when I watch Matt Riddle matches, I don't really feel the MMA vibe off him.
No.
I just feel he's just Matt Riddle. Yeah. I don't get the MMA kind of.
I think because I wasn't. It's different though, you know what I mean? Like,
and I think he also doesn't try to be the MMA guy either.
And he's a character already. He's this bro guy. He's not like the MMA fighter. He's not like.
I mean, he's a fighter, and he's like a real style fighter. But I don't see. It's like when Brock came back, or it doesn't have like the MMA. He's a wrestling type feel. Like Samoa Joe has more of an MMA feel than Matt Riddle.
Who's again MLW? Tom Lawler.
Tom Lawler.
He has MMA feel.
Yeah, like but he was actually a fighter for a long time. I don't think Matt hung around there for.
That's what I mean. So my point I was gonna get to is I think I never really ever looked at my introduction to Matt Riddle was when he started doing the independent wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
The MMA thing was like a background thing for me. I never saw
I didn't know who he was, and I'm an MMA fan. I didn't know who he was until he got into independent wrestling, and then you find out, hey, he got fired from UFC.
Yeah. So like that's why I always just think of him as a wrestler. Where like when you think of a guy like a Ken Shamrock, we knew he came from the UFC world. You think of
because that's all they promoted him.
100%. You think of Ronda Rousey, like she has so much history that she was a big name. I think when you're a bigger name that comes from MMA, it feels more that way.
Yeah.
Once again, Brock's a special case because he wrestled first, then he went to MMA.
But he still feels MMA. It still feels like a UFC guy. It's weird.
I think when he first came back, yeah, but now he's Brock again.
Yeah, he doesn't really feel like a WWE guy to me.
He's Brock.
Yeah.
He's a special case of every situation.
Brock.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about that Bret Hart thing. I thought that was a really cool situation. Other than that, man, the Prince is back, and I'm only saying that. I'm not trying to be cheesy. I'm only saying that because the last time we saw Finn Balor as a heel, it was when he was Prince Devitt. Ever since he's been Finn Balor, he's been a baby face the entire time since his debut in NXT in 2015.
Yeah,
16.
I saw when he started doing that really, really over the top smiley thing that he's like going in that direction.
Yeah,
but I don't even remember what happened with that.
Yeah, there's times where it seemed like they could have turned him heel.
This is the sickest Pele kick you've ever seen.
But dude, on the nose, dude, he hit that on the spot.
Then he just blasts him through the barricade.
And okay, so this is my take. I loved every moment of that.
Yeah.
NXT was really good, but what did I say about NXT sometimes? I'm like, sometimes I just don't like how they don't have promos and story stuff all the time in the ring. They do, but it's not like the wrestling is what usually stands out the most.
Yeah, but they tell the stories through the wrestling. They have run-ins, they have interferences.
No, and they do have promos and stuff, but it always feels like not.
And like they don't do the records thing, but a lot of it is avenging your loss from last week or a month ago or shit like that.
100%. But like I just I don't know. Sometimes I feel like once again, who am I to talk? I haven't watched NXT properly.
Ciampa's reaction when he did that was just like, oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah. Well, whatever.
I haven't watched NXT properly for like 2 years, so I'm the last person to be saying that. Like I've watched it here and then in the takeovers, but I've always Raw and SmackDown's been like my promo wrestling thing, and NXT was always the wrestling thing. But this changed my mind. This made me want to continue tuning. Like since NXT's been on USA, it's been really good.
Unreal.
But this has made me want to tune in next week for sure.
Yeah.
This might be the thing that might make me want to see what's going on in NXT
because
before
Balor's
I
dope.
even AEW. They found what to get that fan that might not know what NXT was to watch him on USA now because they're like, oh, Finn Balor, what the? It was a sweet moment. Roderick just came off having that awesome triple threat match with Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic.
Dijakovic.
He really should be Donovan Dijak, but
they made it harder to say.
Yeah, like Donovan Dijak was great. Okay. Dijakovic.
He'll just be Donovan sooner or later.
Hopefully. I actually want that to happen. Usually I don't want that to happen. I actually want that to happen.
Real people have two names. When are they going to figure that out?
That was a sweet triple threat match. They did stuff I've never seen or maybe just don't remember seeing in triple threat matches before. It was good pace. Everything was solid with the match, and that's what you expect from NXT.
Keith Lee's such a wild card to me. Like I have no idea what he's going to be.
I have no opinion on him, but after this
he's got so much star power, but it's WWE.
And both Donovan and Keith Lee, big guys that move like they're agile and they're doing stuff you wouldn't expect them to do.
They've kind of made us lose faith in their ability to make main event stars. Well, like we're gonna be stuck with Rollins until we're like 50.
No, 100%. And that's the thing. When people come to the main roster, there's already these guys that are cemented in the top spots. That's like how many more people can go there. That's why I like this whole idea of NXT maybe just becoming this third brand fully and doing people can just stay there longer because like Now's the reason you want to stay there. You're on TV too. You have your own pay-per-views. This literally is a whole other company.
I just like I said, I still just wonder what the pay is like. They must be getting paid more for being on TV.
But if they're on TV, like it should have gone up now.
At least the top guys.
Yeah, but anyways, that was a great match. But then obviously Undisputed Era came out to celebrate. Out came Ciampa. Out came Gargano. DIY chant went off. Happy moment. Finn came out, who we're expecting to see because the week before.
So apparently NXT's gonna hit the road now, eh?
Which will be good, man. With this momentum with Finn is a good thing.
It depends though what kind of buildings they do, because they're not gonna sell out.
Not right away.
They won't. WWE shows don't sell out.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
they just don't. People get a lot of it. They know they're gonna be back. They know they get to see him on TV. Like there's no hot angles, hot new characters. If they say the Fiend's gonna be on there for sure, I can see a lot of tickets selling. If they say Brock Lesnar's gonna be there for sure, I can see a lot of tickets selling. But as a brand, WWE sells what they sell, and that's not really any sellouts.
I want to go back to Prince Devitt. I mean Finn Balor, but
you did that on purpose.
I did. I didn't actually, but I said Prince Devitt. And I was like, "Oh, I mean for Balor." But
you didn't even hesitate or stutter. That was planned.
No, because I wasn't gonna say I want to get back to the Prince, but then I said his full name.
You're phony.
No, I literally said I want to get back to the Prince, and then I said his full name. Then I was like, "Crap." But I wanted the ticket thing was funny because we were talking about in the car here. Jim Ross's comments on Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins said at some sort of Comic-Con or something that if he would face Kenny Omega if he's ready to come to the major leagues and stop playing in the minor leagues and all this stuff.
I mean, a big point of what he's making in his rant in the beginning isn't really wrong. He's saying, yeah, you're getting paid a lot, but that's the TV money. You're not drawing the houses. You're not getting paid off the house.
And that's what JR is saying about Seth Rollins too.
And even Austin said that to Cena when Cena was on his podcast.
Yeah.
Austin was like, when I was on top, we didn't have those black tarps up there.
100%.
And it's only gotten worse.
And then he made that funny comment
Cena's buildings that have some sections tapered off. Now we got full halves.
And Jim Ross said something about like, I hope you get us over as your girlfriend one day or something. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
But listen,
he said that like the internet has made that a bigger deal than it came off in the show.
It's funny. So
his whole rant was about basically like, yeah, like first of all, like why are you taking digs? Like minor leagues, like okay, all you gotta do is watch the show. You know it's not really the minor leagues. And you look at some of the stuff that's going on in WWE, like okay, like relax, like I get it. But Seth Rollins he doesn't come off good.
He's being the corporate champion.
But he doesn't come off. He doesn't really come off as like the company guy. He comes off as like a whiner who's getting defensive.
So that's the thing. Like realistically, he's being the company.
Welcome the competition.
He is the corporate champion now.
And I can imagine he's the champion. He's probably so sick of hearing this other company, hearing about Kenny Omega. He's like, why doesn't everybody just like talk about me? It's because you're not that cool and you're not like the top guy.
And he's trying to like he's answering the way that he should answer. As the person working.
No, he's not. That's the problem.
But he
doesn't need to say he's in the minor leagues.
No, for sure.
And he can come to the big leagues and this and
that.
My
point is, I'm trying to get to is that the way he answers it is very like whiny and sounds like he's like taking digs at them rather than just being like, it's his way of answering just sounds bad. It makes
is bad. The way he answers it is bad.
The way he comes off is horrible because it just seems like. It's almost like
he comes off very insecure.
And actually as if like he knows it better than they are and he's trying to make them look worse even though like you're making people want to go watch that more because the way you're shooting out. You know what I mean? It's almost like when the WWEs do those old.
And he knows it too because he's always apologizing after he says dumb shit.
Yeah, and it's for anyone that's outside of WWE, it's like get off your high horse a little bit, man. Be happy there's people out there.
But JR said it right. Like okay, yeah, congrats, you're making a lot of money. But you're not the only guy making a lot of money. A lot of people are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you were really selling out houses and it was on your back, you'd be making a lot more. And you're not selling out houses, and they're not making it off your back. WWE sells what they sell. When the brand comes to town, they're going to sell a certain amount of tickets. Because it has nothing to do with who's on top, unless you're a Cena or a Lesnar or an Undertaker.
Because none of these guys, and this is a whole different topic, but this is a great conversation. None of these guys, WWE hasn't really built any like major.
They don't want to, bro.
They just keep
Cena
building.
Was the last one.
Yeah, they just keep building the brand. They're building WWE.
They want you to want to see WWE because they went through all those years where they had to like. Cater to the top guy and they want to just tell people what to do and people just show up and how they show up and they're going to keep printing money because they run so many shows. It's hard not to make money.
100%.
Sell so much merch, it's hard not to make money and they're getting paid a lot of money from USA and Fox.
Well, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are going to AEW because they want to see AEW's new and fresh, but they have guys that
and a lot of wrestlers are wanting to go to AEW because they want to still have fun. They still enjoy their job.
And a lot of people want to go see Kenny Omega. A lot of people want to go see Cody. You know what I mean? It's like a different vibe and it's like
AEW is in a sweet spot right now because not only is WWE not that good and the top of the card's not that good, but it's never been cooler to hate on WWE. So I don't deny that a lot of these fans really love AEW. Yeah. You can tell that a lot of fans online and there in the arenas really love AEW and they're all about it. But it really is a cool thing right now to hate on WWE.
Yeah, and listen, I love WWE. I'm a WWE fan for life. Like, That's what I grew up watching, WWE, WCW, all this stuff.
What are you going to say?
But I'm going to pose another question to you. Let's be honest. So, like, if Raw was coming to town, whether it's here or Seattle, somewhere close enough for us to go, are we going because WWE's coming to town, or are we going because, like, oh, man, I can't wait to go see Seth Rollins. I can't wait to go see... Like, that's
I just said that. We're going to see Raw.
No, exactly. I'm like, that's what the point we're trying to make.
Whereas when we went to Seattle in 2013, I went to see CM Punk.
No, 100%. So I
went there to see CM Punk.
I want to clarify that for people that might be confused about what we're trying to say. Like, that's what the problem might be. It's the fact that when they come to town, we're going for the sake that it is WWE, and that's probably why they're not selling out, because people know that they're not going for anyone. There's nothing special. You're not missing. They might think Brock's the attraction or Ronda, but I wouldn't go to a show just to see Ronda.
I think they're more TV attractions than live show attractions. Like I said, in certain markets, they're gonna sell what they sell. It's not gonna go too much lower. It's not gonna go too much higher. Some markets it's 4,000 or 5,000. Some markets it's 8,000, and that's just where they're at. I
know, I agree, but that's just. I thought Jim Ross got a bunch of great points.
You know, they said some of these pay-per-views they're saying they're sold out, but when you're 12,000, 13,000 is nothing to cough at. Like, I think if you're anywhere over 4,000 or 5,000, like, you are doing really. If you're running big arena, that is.
Yeah.
You're that's a good day at the office. You're doing good. You sold a lot of tickets.
They're not doing bad at all.
It's hard to sell tickets. There's a lot of options in entertainment and in life. But when you're saying you're sold out and you're having, like, 10, 11, 12,000 people in a 20,000 seat arena, like, come on, you're not sold out.
They're definitely not doing bad in any means, but they could be doing better, and it's
they could be doing a lot better, and they could be making a lot more money. But that's been them for the longest time, other than the Attitude Era.
But
where they couldn't sell any more tickets that they wanted to.
I'm still a huge Seth Rollins fan. I think he's great and stuff, but he's not who he thinks he is. And
I'm not until his matches start. Then I give it a chance because he has good matches.
He had a hell of a match this week on Raw.
But it's just Humberto. I didn't even watch it. That's how uninterested in Raw I was.
But it was a good match. It made Humberto look good. But once again, Seth Rollins isn't John Cena, unfortunately. He's not even, you know what I mean? So if he's supposed to be that top guy, he doesn't feel like, I love Seth. It's
not really a big deal when he's putting someone over. Yeah. It doesn't have the same effect.
It does, but it doesn't.
Whereas if Roman...
No, it doesn't have the same effect.
Roman losing to, Eric Rowan, that was a big deal.
Or Roman even had that big match with Buddy Murphy. Like, it was a thing, but...
Yeah.
Seth could be there. I think we want to say that what happens.
He's not that appealing. He's not that interesting. He can never be the guy.
Yeah, but also it's the same thing I was gonna say.
He will always be 1A 1B at the very most.
No, 100%. But do you
just the way he looks, the way he talks, he just doesn't have it.
I was gonna say though, like, I think we don't want to believe what happens on screen and off screen affects what happens on screen, but realistically, the stuff he does off screen does affect how we feel about him when we see him on screen. And these comments and stuff like that do not help. And it's
but it's which one came first, the chicken and the egg? Are we irritated because his creative so bad, or are we irritated because he's so bad off the screen? I can't tell you the answer.
Yeah, because like Roman doesn't really make really stupid comments ever
anymore.
Even when he did it,
he used to, and people hated him for it.
People hated him just generally.
I'm here to do what I'm told and get rich and shit like that.
Which is true though. He wasn't saying anything crappy about other companies and other things that people like. He was just saying he was just being cocky. There's a difference. You can be cocky and still do your thing, but if you're shitting on other people and then saying I'm the greatest and doing your thing, people will be like, well, you're not that great.
Seth Rollins has a weird thing with Kenny Omega, and I think he still has this idea because he's still a wrestler at heart. They all are. They're workers. Yeah. He knows if even if it's 20 years down the line, there's gonna be money if they ever have the chance to wrestle. So he's gonna keep that fire going.
Well, it's cool because now that makes me think about Cena and Rock when Cena was like, this guy left to go to Hollywood, and it all worked out in the end, you know. But yeah, back to NXT really quickly. I love the ending. It was a solid show. I just want to call back to something we talked about last week, was the whole idea of the Undisputed Era versus the Club. Obviously, when this happened, everybody was reacting on Twitter. I even went on Twitter after to see how everyone was reacting to Finn's heel turn. Everyone's like, oh my God, this and that. AJ Styles is like, well, Luke Gallows. Oh, it was Carl Anderson. Was like, about time, Prince, and all this stuff. And I know it's probably not going to happen now and throw it out the window, but if I was going to fantasy book a little bit, I personally would not want Finn to be too closely associated with the Undisputed Era, like be a part of them. Obviously, the all heels will probably work together, do some stuff together, but I wouldn't want Finn to be a part of the Undisputed Era. I think what I would want to happen is Finn, the way this played out, this scene that happened in NXT this week, I would want Finn to maybe have some sort of grudge or problem with Johnny Gargano where he's focusing just on Gargano right now. And Ciampa can go focus on Adam Cole, and the rest of them can still do their thing. And maybe they'll have some tag matches where Finn and Adam Cole are together, some stuff. But I wouldn't want Finn a part of Undisputed Era, if that makes any sense. And then, eventually, if I still wanted that whole situation to play out, and it probably won't, this is fantasy booking once again, would be cool, is eventually maybe down the road, for some reason, Finn's the reason that Adam Cole loses the belt to Ciampa or something. And the Undisputed Era start having problems with Finn, and that's what brings Finn needing backup, and then that's where you would introduce the club. This is never going to happen, guys, by the way. And then you could probably still get there and have Ciampa go feud with someone like Matt Riddle, or maybe him and Gargano can have that match they never got to have because Ciampa got hurt. Something else with the belt until we get this Undisputed Era OC, the club all together against each other just to finish this one last battle. I think it could still happen somehow as long as they don't like put Finn in the Undisputed Era. I just don't want to see him in this. It's like NWO when they start putting people that probably just shouldn't be. Like Undisputed Era as the four of them is great, and Adam Cole as the unspoken leader is great. To have someone that is like Finn Balor in there kind of messes up that group.
Yeah,
vibe.
but Finn Balor infiltrating it and breaking it up from the inside is also pretty cool.
That's another great way to go. It's another great fantasy booking style.
I mean, either way, it's a cool match, and I think anybody would love to see it.
No, 100%. But that was just my way of like, cause people are like, oh, because I posted about that, then Finn turned and was like, well, I guess this isn't happening no more. And I'm like, but it still can somehow.
Yeah, it just sucks that WWE doesn't know what to do with factions.
Yeah. But it'd be cool, man.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
And we know
too sweet.
And we know they teased so like throughout the years they've teased Finn walking by AJ Styles in the club and like too sweet as bro, and Finn's like, you know, teased it. And I think if they're trying to pump things up for NXT against AEW, even though they'll say it's never against AEW,
they can't, bro. The OC got drafted to Raw.
Anything can happen in the WWE. Other things about NXT that we'll quickly talk about before we go on. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate were there. I'm glad they're going to be more involved with the NXT roster and stuff like that. We saw Simon Grimes, as they call him now. Is it Grimes? Grimes? He got in the face with Tyler Bate, so it's probably a thing. And Pete Dunne still wants to go after Damian Priest.
WWE in whole has way too many good people signed.
Dude,
there's so many top guys doing nothing.
I was watching NXT for the first time properly, streaming it right after the AEW, and I actually listened to them like, yo, this NXT roster stacked itself.
Yep.
Like, even maybe the people that just know him from NXT don't realize how much potential he has, but even Shane Strickland there as Isaiah Scott, like, dude, I mean, this guy's another guy who could potentially be a top guy.
Yeah.
And he was teamed up with Breezango, and then there's like Keith Lee and Dijak with these. This could also be top guys or something.
So many.
There's Riddle who faced off against Simon Grimm, who also can be top guy.
Ciampa.
Dunn, Tyler Bate, Gargano, Ciampa, like
it's too
Velveteen Dream, who wasn't even on the show this week.
Still got Roddy, you got KOR, you got Bobby Fish. It's too much.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then with the women's division on there is honestly, I'm actually once again still way better than the AEW.
Not that good.
I like the fact that Rhea Ripley fought Bianca Belair. The only problem I had with that is that Rhea Ripley should not have struggled that much against Bianca Belair. I don't know. You tell me how big of a name Bianca Belair is on NXT. Is she a big deal?
They're trying to make her, top 3.
That's fair then, I guess. I would just like, I like Bianca Belair. I know but
Bianca Belair also has the size to make it believable.
Yeah, but I just felt like Rhea Ripley should have. Not that it
There's nobody else in that division other than Io where the match would have made sense like that because Rhea's too big and too powerful. Yeah, so it makes sense with Bianca. And then who I'm not really a fan of at all.
And then Io came out, and then Candice came out. And that was a good little story going on. There was a twist and ties, and then obviously Dakota Kai and Tegan faced off against the 2 4-horsewomen chicks. And Marina Sheriff and Jessima Duke, or whatever however you say her name.
Scary ladies.
And they beat them, and then now they're the number 1 contenders for Asuka and Kairi Sane for the NXT women's. I mean, just the women's tag team championship titles, and they came on the screen and played a promo. And once again, that solved the mystery of me hoping that the tag champions got to still travel between shows.
It's not. I told you that on the show where you mentioned it. They said right when they got drafted, they're going.
No, that's great.
But I told you right when they got drafted. You were like, "Oh, I'd love it if they could go in between shows." And I was like, "They actually announced it." I wasn't paying
attention, so thanks for telling me.
But this is like 2 shows ago when you said it, and I even told you. I was like, "Dude, like they literally announced that it's gonna be across all shows." Yeah, they went out of their way to say it on the show.
Yeah, I totally missed it, but I'm glad that it's still rocking. Is my point.
Yeah, I just don't want you to classify it as something you wanted or something when they were already doing it.
No, it was something I wanted. And I didn't.
But they were already doing it.
I know, but I didn't know.
Yeah, you would pay attention when we start asking for stuff.
I wasn't asking for stuff. I'm just saying I hope that's the thing.
You were asking for it.
I wasn't asking for it. But
hoping is asking, man.
I guess so, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was solid, and I was gonna say about that. Oh, it's cool. I think it's the first time it's been defended on NXT, those tag belts. I don't know if it's ever been defended on there before.
I don't know. Didn't Bayley and Sasha defend it on NXT once?
They came there and they talked.
Oh yeah.
They didn't defend nothing.
We're gonna defend it on all brands.
Yeah, but they never defended on the brand.
And had temper tantrums.
Yeah, but yeah, that'll be cool for next week. But talking about Bayley and Sasha for a second, let's jump to SmackDown really quickly because the show's all over the place anyways.
Totally forgot about it.
There's honestly like three.
Nothing happened.
The problem with SmackDown is
it was really mediocre.
Yeah, and the problem with it is that it's so far away when we were.
There's 2 Fridays in a row where I was excited to watch it because it's new, it's on Fox, and like I don't think I'll be watching it this Friday. I might try to catch it Saturday.
Well, no, they're gonna have Firefly Funhouse finally on there. It's funny that the WWE and Fox Instagram and Twitter page is hilarious. By the way,
yeah, I like
whoever's running that stuff.
Yeah, they do a good job.
They're doing a great job.
They're bordering annoying, but they're still doing a good job. They're not over there yet.
The fact that they are annoying is what
you can tell they're doing their work though, because they're commenting on everything, any kind of reference you see them replying
and
to
they're coming up with brand specific graphics on their Instagram page and stuff that better than WWE does have time to promote what's coming on the show and everything, and they're killing it. And
it's because WWE needs to hire you to be the social media guy.
They really should. But the thing that I want to point out about it is the Dave Meltzer was like, oh, it's because Fox doesn't like the Firefly Funhouse, and then they hardcore mocked it when they're like Firefly Funhouse, but like, oh, Fox doesn't like the something they mocked it, but it was so funny because they were mocking Dave Meltzer saying that.
And the thing is, I've heard that from before too, that not just from him, but apparently they didn't really get it and thought it was like what the hell is this, right? And you can even see they have like reaction pictures on that first episode of SmackDown. When the Fox executives are sitting in the front row, the Firefly Funhouse comes on. You can see all their faces are just like, "What the hell?"
They might have just been confused about it at first, right?
Yeah.
But
I think if you're not a wrestling fan, you wouldn't like it that much because unless you've watched it from the beginning, it would be really stupid.
I've watched it with people who aren't wrestling fans, and they have when it first kicks off and it looks like a kid's TV show.
Heard what the hell, but we watched it from the beginning, and we know the history of Bray Wyatt, so it's almost always made sense to us and been like made us like curious. Yeah. He told you not to move the microphone, man.
I know, and I moved it so many times now. I don't even know where it's at. Seriously. But
idiot.
Well, that's what.
See, that's how bad SmackDown was. You have 2 bullet points.
Needs to call out every little detail. I was trying to move it back in place. Like, told you to move the microphone. Like, I know. That's why I was trying to fix it.
2 bullet points about SmackDown like that. Why does it say SmackDown Live, bro? It's not SmackDown Live anymore.
I don't know, man. I made these notes at work. But anyways,
I always like the paper you get from there. If you threw a paper airplane at this at somebody, they'd pop their eye right out, dude.
Dunder Mifflin paper.
Like, look, you have all this like. Even Raw had more notes.
Because Raw's 3 hours. But let's talk about the things I cared about SmackDown. Brian and Roman start working together. It's cool, good stuff, whatever.
SmackDown was the epitome of matches that don't matter and impossible to care about.
Yeah, and
right when that opened the show, you're like, okay, there's not going to be
Shinsuke versus Roman.
There's not going to be a finish here.
And exactly what happened is what I said. I commented on the Fox. I'm like, someone's going to run in. It's going to start a feud for Roman. It's going to be a no contest. If I was really smart and I really understood,
they need more than anything and more than ever. They need Roman to have a good feud. They need Roman to break out, and they're saddling him with Corbin's.
Yeah, that's not the feud they should be going for.
That's what you want to do after his feud with Eric Rowan.
If anything, Brian needs to like turn on him ASAP again and just let's roll with that because I don't know what the hell's going on there. Nikki Cross became the number 1 contender. It was a decent match.
Yeah,
it wasn't what I was expecting, so it was great.
And Bayley will have a good match.
100%, and and that also opens up the doors for Alexa and Sasha to be out there doing their thing.
Nikki Cross has dope entrance music.
Yeah, you know who doesn't have dope entrance music? Bayley.
Yeah, it's fairly generic, right?
That Miz TV was really good. I like how the Miz was stirring the pot and just saying all the things that
Miz was on fire, bro.
Just killing it.
Yeah.
Just making them seem like shit. But the one other person that was on fire was Sasha Banks. And the thing I want to point out.
Not as fire as Miz. Miz was just shitting on them.
100%. But the thing about Sasha that I want to say, and this is the only note I really want to talk about when it comes to SmackDown, because Sasha's my girl and I love her.
That's great.
Also, happy birthday to Carmella is this week. And I know the show's going to come out way later, but happy birthday. But Sasha, she shouldn't be next to Bayley. Like, Bayley's heel turn was cool. Then the moment Bayley comes out the week after heel turn, she comes out with Sasha. Immediately, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm biased. The spotlight seemed more on Sasha. Bayley did not seem like the main person there, in my mind.
Yeah, I think it is in your mind.
And I know other people agreed with me on social media.
I think the spotlight was equally on both of them.
I just feel like Sasha.
I get what you're saying.
Sasha seems like more of a star than Bayley.
You say Sasha?
Sasha looks more of a star. That's why I said salsa by accident.
I thought you typed it.
No, I said it out loud. Then I started typing it.
At a time like that, you'd think, okay, the spotlight should be on Bayley, right? But I think it was on them both equally.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for the Miz, that would have went to shit real quick.
Oh, 100%. Miz is one of those guys that helped.
It's been so many years since Sasha and Bayley still haven't found their like stride.
No, 100%. But I just felt like Sasha seemed like it almost seems like Sasha should be like the champ. Sasha seemed like she was more. That segment, if it was just Bayley and Miz, might not have come off the same way if Sasha wasn't there, and. It's almost like Sasha's Bayley's crutch in a weird way.
Sasha should have never lost that Hell in a Cell, man. That hurt a lot.
No. And her just being Bayley's sidekick again it seems like she should be the one in that position.
But Bayley always comes across as the sidekick, though.
I know, and they're trying to make Sasha seem like sidekick, but the way she came back, the storyline she's had since she's come back, the story they told, it just seems weird. And then she also, when they walked out, don't get me wrong, new Bayley, it's cool and stuff, whatever, but Sasha still seemed like she stood out more. I don't know.
Because she looks like the star. She's better looking.
Not even the better looking. She looked like a star. She carried herself more like a star.
Her outfits have been on point since she came back.
100. That's a part of it. That is a part of it. And I think Bayley, imagine Bayley came on something that wasn't her. Did she come on? I just imagined her coming on in
wearing jeans and a racing jacket.
Oh, I thought she was in her wrestling gear.
She's wearing like a spark.
That's how much
a spark plug Holly.
That's how much.
Racing jacket.
That's how much of an impression she left on me in that episode. That I thought she came on in her wrestling gear and Sasha came on in some crazy cool clothing.
Yeah.
And that's my point.
Ain't nobody looking at Bayley when Sasha's around, bro.
And that's the problem. That's the whole point I was trying to get at.
It's not really a problem.
No, I'm just saying
it's that's SmackDown's women's title feud. Who really cares?
I care, but I'm just saying that's the thing. I think Sasha should be the champ.
And I think so too.
But that's all I want to talk about SmackDown. It's the only thing I cared about. Nothing else really happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was that tag match. There was Nikki Cross being number one contender. And that's that. Raw, we'll quick talk about it before we get into AEW because AEW is the last thing we're going to run through. The Singh brothers are the 24/7 champion.
Yeah, local boys.
The champs finally got some gold.
Butter chicken ass kicking, baby.
They're doing the thing, and I love the way they played it out. R-Truth couldn't tell if there was one or two of them. It was just silly R-Truth antics, and
it was great.
The way they just.
But it's like I only watch their stuff on 205, and they just kill it, man. They're so entertaining.
Are we allowed to do you think they should just call them the Bollywood brothers again? No. You like the Singh brothers?
No. They want to own the name.
Oh, that's true.
But I don't even think so. I think they just want them to be the Singh brothers.
Because they're pretty much
more. They think it's probably more accessible for India, the name.
Maybe. Because they are pretty much the Bollywood boys again. The antics on social media.
The way they act, their outfits, the little all of it.
Thing, everything's Bollywood brothers is back, you know? Yeah. But it was funny. Dope. I love them. They're hilarious.
You got to get them on the show.
I want them to come on the show, and they're in Vancouver probably right now, so.
Ajo.
Come on the show, guys. We want you on here. I'll text you guys next week or something.
The producer will have 2 extra mics, 2 extra chairs. Let's get it.
Yeah. You can do that? Oh, look at that. We can actually have 4 people on here.
Yeah.
Who knew? Thank you, producer. We'll get the Singh brothers on here. That was dope, though. I'm glad that they got the opportunity to be the worst case. The worst case.
Alistair beats Jabroni.
I don't know the guy's name.
That's great. That's better than Kane Val.
Alistair beats a jabroni, man. He came out of his closet again, and he beat up some jobbers.
It's just like, dude,
do something.
It's building nothing. It doesn't. You're wasting TV time on it.
I love seeing the black mask.
And that's what I like. What they do with Orton and Samoa Joe. If they got nothing for him, don't put him on TV. If you got nothing for him, don't put him on. We've already seen what the guy can do. Put him in there, have him beat somebody. I'm shit kick Ziggler for God's sakes. That always helps somebody out.
The reason that we're Aleister Black's the man, but the reason, and even Andrade and Zelina Vega are on here, right? I put them on the list. They're just people I care about, so I put them on the list. I like Aleister Black, but what he did on Raw wasn't really memorable.
No.
Andrade and Selena, I love Andrade, and Selena has great teeth. But what they did, beating...
You stay away. You stay with your Carmelas and Sashas and every other girl you love. Leave her teeth to me.
Definitely, you got that, bro. But what they did beating Sin Cara, they didn't really do anything for me. You know, it's great. He's picking up wins.
All it did was remind you Sin Cara's still employed.
You know, Zelina did a good little hurricanrana off the apron. It was good, but there's nothing that really give it 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to remember that. Yo, that's how it is. If 2 weeks later, I don't remember
Andrade and McIntyre just had fire in NXT.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the same company could just... I just don't get it.
Rusev and Lana, we'll quickly touch on that. Rusev, I don't know who made the reference.
Dude, I unfollowed Lana on social media, and somehow she keeps finding a way back to it. And I'm just I'm starting to unfollow and block people that are retweeting her now. Oh, geez. It's just not good. She's a horrible actor.
Yeah, she's really trying to play this stuff up. But first things first, I don't know who. I think maybe Rusev brought it up on his own Instagram, or somebody brought it up. But Rusev really, I think WWE or WWE Fox tweeted something with that Rusev looks like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yo, he does.
Yeah. With muscles.
Because somebody find him someone to love, and I'm like, that's such a great reference. He does look like Freddie Mercury. I'm like, I wonder if Rusev watched Bohemian Rhapsody and was like, I like this guy. I want to be like him, and did the whole mustache thing and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure he knew who Freddie Mercury was.
No, but the movie probably got him to go do that. You know, sometimes
so.
I'm just saying it could happen. You know, he likes country music. He's an interesting guy off screen.
Doesn't he live in Nashville?
Yeah, he's but a huge country music guy. And you don't expect that from him. I'm saying
what do you expect from him?
I don't know. He's just a Bulgarian brute, but he's so funny and stuff. Oh. Like I said, if you watch Total Divas, he's an interesting character. But
never gonna happen.
But it's on the WWE Network, by the way, for $9.99. But Rusev Lana thing. The only thing I want to say about it, once again, the segments are still continuing to be cringy. They're at a restaurant.
What was Lana yelling? He's breaking the law. Is that what she was saying?
Yeah, breaking the law. Something.
She's so bad.
But the
best thing that happened to Rusev is she's not walking out with him anymore.
I don't want to be that guy. The funniest thing was when Rusev went to go attack Lashley and Lana at the restaurant. You could see the parking lot in the back, the trucks, and I'm like, yo. Kevin Dunn was probably choked.
He's the dumbass that probably set it out, the bucktooth idiot.
Yeah, but to get that shot where it shows that the parking lot was
I bet you Triple H can't wait to fire
and that this was literally just backstage.
Kevin Dunn, Triple H can't wait to fire him for sure.
Oh man, it was some good stuff though, man. It was funny. Found that part humorous, and that's why I wanted to bring that up. Street Profits and KO. Street Profits took on the OC. 2 against 3.
Nice stunner on the outside.
And I was obviously expecting somebody to come out. I had no idea who was going to be. I don't know why.
I had no idea.
I forgot KO was on Raw.
When those surprises happen, I don't try to think of who it is. I just wait for it to happen.
I was trying to think who it is.
You try to think who it is, you end up disappointed.
No, but no one crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like...
It was dope, though. I liked it.
Like nobody...
It doesn't even fit, but it fits. Because KO is just like... He's so dope as a good guy.
And the funniest thing was after they cut an exclusive promo for YouTube or something, he's like, you guys... I actually really like you guys. You guys might be the first guys I actually won't turn on.
Yeah, I might not even turn on you guys.
Like, I was trying to, but I'll say this. Maybe it's because I just saw them live in NXT and they're cool dudes and stuff and everything. Like you guys...
They're excellent, man.
Like Unitent said last week. Like, they're just cool.
They're excellent. And they're really good wrestlers.
And they were just... You need to
see them versus the revival every week.
Yeah, them not being the hype men no more and actually in the ring. Like I enjoyed it. That main event Raw, like I enjoyed it. I looked forward to it.
It was really good.
And they just bring a different vibe and like.
Tune in next week to see how WWE ruins them.
The Street Profits? I don't know, man. It was good stuff, man.
Everybody gets ruined except for who? Styles.
And that's crazy because Styles has been losing on a losing streak for
he makes
weeks
it through all the creative
now.
And stays a top guy.
And Gallows and Addison still feel like they're getting impacted by this, but Styles just is like untouchable and unimpactful and no pun intended and just like.
Carl Anderson has been in the finals of G1 tournaments.
Yeah.
And they just did this to him.
The problem with the club compared to AJ Styles is AJ Styles had a top run that was really, really good. The club never actually had a run.
No, they were just taking the New Day's balls and wearing
they would never really had a really strong run. So like AJ's at that point where anything could happen to him, like around you and whatnot, and it doesn't affect who he is as a person, you know?
I agree.
And we all, whether we think about it or not, like as hardcore fans, we even think about his entire runs through his whole career, and we just respect who AJ is no matter what he does.
Yeah, I only really think of his WWE run, to be honest with you.
Fair. I maybe not much of his TNA stuff I think about, but I do think he was killing it before he came to Ring of Honor and New Japan as a top guy, and then he came, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where the club guys, like they just, I don't know. I was so excited when they first came after that WrestleMania attacked some guys, but anyways. Happy the Street Profits there. That was a good segment. Honestly, the only other thing that I have, two things I guess, is McIntyre joining Team Flair.
That was dope. I like it. Flair's the man, dude.
His promo when you couldn't remember what city SmackDown was in.
It's what
or if he was just saving himself because
it's what Hogan can do. Hogan gets out there and reads off a script.
Yeah,
and he's very cookie cutter. Flair now is just like, I don't even care anymore.
He knows he's old and he doesn't know his lines,
but he doesn't even care anymore.
He knows how to make it seem like he did it on purpose. He's like, what city of SmackDown is? I don't even know. Okay, when really he was talking about Raw, we all know it.
But like, he had the phase there where all he did was walk around with Charlotte, didn't really say anything, just smiled and cried. But he's like, ever since he died and came back to life and started drinking again, he's been Ric Flair of old.
And that's the one thing, like I said, like you said, you don't know if you're going to tune to SmackDown Live, not SmackDown Live, but SmackDown Live as it's on Fox tomorrow. But Flair's going to be there. Hogan's going to be there. The Firefly Funhouse. They're trying to make us tune in. They're doing some stuff.
Tired of being disappointed, man.
Yeah. Once again, Kofi's in a random tag match against two, like Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler with whatever. But anyways, back to Raw. I think
Xavier
McIntyre.
Woods is out. He tore his Achilles.
So it's Big E and Kofi against Roode and Ziggler. But it'll be a good match. But once again, it just upsets me to see that Kofi was just the champion like less than a month ago. Now he's just like, I'm happy to be in this tag match.
I mean, if he doesn't care, why should I?
I know, 100%. That's true. But I was happy McIntyre was the last pick. Solid choice. Solid guy to put in there. Great way to bring him back.
I hope Team Flair wins.
Same. I don't even know who's on Team Hogan, but I hope Team Flair wins. McIntyre had a good match with Ricochet. He beat him. Good stuff. Flair was hilarious. It was good. And the other very last thing is Kane Val came and beat up Shelton Benjamin after Ray cut a promo.
He's really afraid to hurt people with his punches.
He looked a lot better though than the first time he came, like walking wise and everything.
And I don't blame him because you heard, especially a guy like Shelton who's pretty respected. He's been around. You heard somebody can't throw a punch, they're gonna be like, why did this guy get hired? Why is he here?
And it's like he probably holding back a bit because he's probably so used to actually punching people. That's
all you have to do is look. He's definitely holding back. He's like afraid to touch people.
Nothing against Cain Velasquez or anything, but I don't. Him making an appearance on Raw did nothing for me. And the same, I don't know why.
The arena was silent.
Yeah. Nothing against him. Like, the match isn't attractive. All that. I think either it's once again the whole presentation of Raw itself, or it's just like I don't know.
They haven't done a good job of building it up.
It was good
of making him why he's important.
It wasn't a bad thing. It didn't do anything for me. Like Humberto versus Rollins was a really good match. That did more for me. The Street Profits was more for me.
How was Humberto and Rollins anyway?
It was a really good match.
Why do you have dash the fans? Because they were booing him.
Oh, Rollins, yeah.
No shit.
They were booing the crap out of him.
He's boring. Nobody wants him on top.
He was trying to get him behind him, and they were booing. That's why they wrote the fans. That's good for fun because I didn't remember either. But you said because they were booing him. That's exactly why. Because the one thing I noticed about that match specifically, I'm like, yo, their fans really don't like this guy right now. Like this is it. Like, and they were chanting for the Fiend and every like
that
we
whole
want
Fiend thing,
Wyatt.
that whole Fiend
like,
thing killed him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like he was already.
He wasn't even their favorite guy when he beat Brock at Mania.
Yeah, let's have a little retrospective.
They needed him to come back, but they had him come back and still be a heel for a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of a retrospect. He beat Brock at Mania. He did those cheesy storylines with Becky against Corbin and Lacey, and he had a feud with Corbin, which isn't like the best guy. Corbin's a man, not the best guy. The top guy should be feuding with. Good mid card guys should be feuding with
Corbin for a long time. It felt like.
Then he went back to Brock, and it's like okay, Brock, won the belt back, and then Rollins beat Brock. And then you put him with the Fiend. It's like everything he does doing this guy is just what he shouldn't be doing.
No, the Brock one was fine because he beat Brock clean at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and he got his momentum back, and then they threw him at the Fiend. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and you know what the thing is too, though? And I don't know who was I listening to? I think I was listening to Busted Open.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how, like, listen, like, they pretty much all do scripted promos. But how come when someone like Samoa Joe comes out there, it feels like Samoa Joe's saying it? Like, all these guys are working scripted promos, but Rollins just can't make it sound like his words. He can't make it sound good. So, yeah, everybody can blame creative for something.
Yeah.
But when you're the top guy, you need to find a way to make it work. And his promos aren't good. They don't connect. Nothing about his character is good. What is his character? What is burning
burns it down?
What is that?
He's a fighting champion who wants to be there every week. I don't know. There was a point I could tell you what heel Seth Rollins is. I don't know what babyface Seth Rollins is. He's happy to be there. He wants to be the top guy. He's a competitive guy. I don't know. But anyways, we hope things get better for Rollins. I do. Like I'm a fan. It's been bad.
Yo, can you
it's
grab
been a
me
bad
a
couple of
tissue?
years.
My nose getting runny. Sorry for all the sniffles this week, guys.
No, that's all good, man.
Sniffling my nuts.
I've burped on here and stuff, and I don't think you can ever hear them. So
I've listened.
Hopefully,
I've burped a lot of times.
Yeah, and I've never heard them. So maybe
I've never farted though.
I mean, you kick it when you have to go. I want to give a quick shout out to Maestro Classic, by the way.
I've peed like twice.
I know. Maestro, but it's a thing you do now, so it's okay.
I've only done it twice.
You could have done it right now. It could have been a thing. Maestro Classic, though, I want to give a shout out to Maestro Classic. Maestro Classic is the best in beard care and is undeniably good at keeping your beard clean and conditioned. It's sulfate-free beard wash to clean the beard without drying your skin. It has beard butter to condition it and beard oil to help it shine. Honestly, guys, I can't speak more highly about Maestro Classic and their products. They actually work. They're legitimate. And you guys should definitely check them out. And if you buy their products on their website, you can use the promo code TWC Maestro to save yourself 25% on your purchases on the beard oil, the beard butter, and the beard wash. Devin was telling me how he was getting complimented from his barber just earlier today about how this barber is like, there's no more, what was he saying?
There's no knots and stuff in the beard, man. It combs out nice.
And, and that's all because he's been using Maestro, man. He's been using the Maestro Classic.
Now he gave some samples to the producer. He's going to be all beautiful, too.
I know. He's getting kind of upset about the samples. So they run out really fast. I have to give him more, but, because it works, man. Once you use it, you don't want to go back to not using it. So shout out to Maestro Classic. The best in the beard game, man. They do everything for the WWE superstars and the staff and everybody there. They're the licensed barbers for them, and they're killing it, man. So if you want Maestro Classic products, use my promo code TWC Maestro on their website. Yeah, man. And Vision Pros, man. If you guys need prescription glasses, sunglasses, contacts, anything that you need for your eyewear, just go to visionpros.com. Use the promo code VP Classic. Save yourself some money on your Vision Pros products. Whatever you need, man. Glasses, sunglasses, prescribed or not, check them out. They are in both Canada and the United States. And yeah, so if you're in the States, you want that stuff. If you're in Canada, you want the stuff, you can get it. And I would recommend going to a glasses store beforehand, try on some things, see what suits you. And then instead of paying all that extra money, buying it right there, save yourself some money. Go to visionpros.com or .ca, use the promo code VP Classic, and save yourself some money on your glasses, man. And do the thing. That's that. Yeah. AEW is the only thing left to talk about. All Elite Dynamite. This will be the first week that I will say Dynamite was really good.
I bought a ticket.
But
But
I'm gonna give NXT the edge for this week for being the show that left me with the bigger impression this week.
I was like dead last night. I barely even was watching. I slept hibernated for like 12 hours. But I mean, it's a really good Wednesday night. If we can get something like that every Wednesday, everybody's a winner.
Once again, really tag team heavy, but I get the tournaments going on. Really tag team heavy, but that doesn't bother me. They were all good matches, so.
They do tag wrestling really well. I like tag wrestling. So
and they have solid tag teams. They have legitimate tag teams facing legitimate tag teams. There's no thrown together tag teams. It's just,
the real test makes a difference. The real test is going to come after Full Gear. Where do they go from there?
And how do they, in the first pay-per-view fallout with the show?
I mean, other than having Brandy Rhodes on TV, they haven't had a single miss.
So how'd you feel about that segment? Jennifer Decker, shout out to Jennifer Decker, interviewing...
The finger point of doom?
What was the other girl's name that she wrestled? Jamie Hayter from the UK. Yeah, it was my actually first time seeing her. If I ever saw her before, I don't remember.
Yeah, Brandy Rhodes, the finger point to doom, bro.
What was that about? And I know I know the whole point.
I don't think anybody knows.
I know the whole point is to be like, what was that about? Can't wait to figure it out. But I also don't care. But it was weird.
I think she realized it was stupid too because she tweeted, "Don't touch me."
But why she attacked that woman?
Huh?
Why she attacked that woman in the first place?
We don't even know who she is. I don't care.
That's what I mean. There's no connection with them. Like if she attacked she attacked Ali or attacked someone.
Like I said, they still get the benefit of the doubt, but it feels like they're going towards the bosses. Kind of having a power trip or something like that.
I almost feel guilty because last week I'm like, they could have Brandy Rhodes holding the women's division. I was like an authority figure, and now she might be doing that. And I'm like, now she's doing that. I'm like, but what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
No. Just don't. We don't need her on TV.
Britt Baker had a homecoming. She fought that Jamie Hayter chick. She beat
Pittsburgh?
her. She was in Pittsburgh. Good time. She came out some mascot from one Pittsburgh team, some sport. Maybe lacrosse or something. I don't know. But
yeah, you don't know.
But it was good stuff, man. It was good stuff. It was a good match. It was solid. It was good to go. It was good to see Britt Baker win.
Baker. Yeah.
She hasn't fully impressed me yet though.
Nope.
Like it was a good match. She's solid, but there's nothing like, wow, Britt Baker. She's a dentist. That's all I know about her. Like,
and then she tags the wrong people after she gets a concussion.
Yeah, there's nothing she's done so far that's really been like, wow. Besides the match she had an all in that triple threat with her, Chelsea.
I feel like if they weren't pushing, if they didn't have Brandy Rhodes as a leader, and if Kenny Omega wasn't so into it, and if they weren't all about like all inclusive, they probably wouldn't have had a women's division for at least another year.
Maybe. I think, and also just the society we're in now, like women's divisions are a big deal. Like it's something that you expect people to have. That's
best thing they can do is try to make some talent sharing thing with like Stardom or something.
And no, they have they do have they have Sadie Gibbs there who hasn't really done anything yet. They have
what's her name?
Rose. Penelope. They have Awesome Kong.
Penelope, yeah.
Penelope's there too.
She's nice.
There's a bunch of people they have. Their women's division once again is probably the weakest part of their show every week. Mm-hmm. Straight up, like that's the case. It just is. They could bring Priscilla Kelly back. That'd be dope. She has a presence.
She was good.
There's a lot of girls in that really bad Casino Battle Royal who I'm like, these girls could be stars on the show 110%. I can't name all of them. There's a lot of them in that match. I'm like, if these girls stayed with AEW, this would be great. Like, what happened to Ali? She just disappeared. Like,
She's nice too.
You know what I mean? Like, those wrestlers, they have talent. What they've been showing us. Like, I'm not that into Rio.
She's good though.
She is good.
She definitely is the best of them.
No, she is really good.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, the storytelling aspect of it. Like I want to be invested in
now that we're talking about it, I almost wanted to see Brandy and Rio.
That'd be a good match.
That'd be so bad. It'd be so bad and sloppy.
But let's just break down the card really quickly. Lucha Bros and SCU is the finals for the tag titles next week.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be a sweet match.
I will definitely
really established
finding
teams.
a way to watch that one.
I'm surprised they're doing
their tag matches are they have such a dope tag division.
They really do. I'm happy that it's down to these two
teams.
For
some reason I've never been able to explain it. The Lucha Brothers style of matches just anybody else would almost annoy me, but theirs is so cool. But they put power into it too. And it looks so choreographed.
They also do wrestle for most of the match before they start doing their jumpy stuff. They usually finish with their crazy stuff. Unless they're facing the Bucks, then it's crazy stuff the whole time. But in a regular matches, they'll wrestle. They'll have wrestling matches, and then they'll start doing their. Usually, they start doing their really cool stuff is when they have them both in the ring at the same time, and they get to do the double team stuff.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's pretty.
They're both tremendous singles wrestlers. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, and maybe it's because they are luchadors. I let the stuff they do. That's how I think
having the mask and the outfits changes a lot of the perception.
Changes the perspective of them doing the high flying stuff. So I'm like, I expect you to do the stuff for some reason. That's how I've been trained all my life.
What was that? Scared the crap out of me.
I have no idea, but that's how I've been trained my entire life. Right?
It sounded like a haunting sound, right?
It did. It was weird. I think he creaked his chair or something.
Yeah, that scared me.
I was down with Orange Cassidy when with the Bucks versus the Best Friends. This was a decent match. That was the other.
How was it?
It was a good match. Orange Cassidy got involved again. Obviously, the Bucks. It was a solid Bucks match. They accepted the challenge.
Yo, they're just never gonna have Orange Cassidy have a match, and that's just perfect.
So they started with Orange Cassidy doing his weak super kick.
The thing is, though, like I've seen like clips from him. He can actually like wrestle.
It's gonna eventually happen.
Like when he does his little fire ups, he can actually wrestle.
He's gonna happen. There's probably gonna be a 6-man tag match with him with the Best Friends, and we're gonna see Orange Cassidy have like a good wrestling, part of that match, and everyone's like, oh, this guy can actually wrestle. But that hasn't been there yet, and I like that they're like taking the time to get there because we don't need to get there yet. You have so much other stuff going on. What you're doing with Orange Cassidy now is funny. His little hands in his pocket, leaping off the top rope.
What did you have to say here about Ortiz and Santana? I don't understand that.
We'll talk about the whole segment because it was. This is my theory about that one segment. And that was a really good brawl. But the Bucks accepted Ortiz and Santana's challenge for 4 gear,
and that's why I just as soon as they were out of the tournament, I'm like, sick. They're gonna fight LAX,
and it's gonna be a great match. Anyways, the Bucks.
I had my boy Meltzer saying, "Oh, that should have closed the show."
The Bucks had a great match with the Best Friends. It was a solid match, and then they accepted the challenge. They didn't make the Best Friends look weak. It seemed like a competitive match, and it was good stuff. It was solid. Britt Baker, we talked about that. We're talking about Moxley stuff after. Jericho. Yeah, this is basically all about the Jericho Rhodes brawl now. Okay, let's talk
crazy.
about it.
We haven't gotten a lot of the Young Bucks, and like I never was really a big fan of them. I've come around on them a lot. Yeah. But it's just like I kind of want to see them more, or I want to see I'm excited for them to fight LAX.
I like the matches. That's happened in the last few years.
Haven't been on TV much, so it's almost like you're still kind of waiting to see them.
No, it's 100% true. Yeah. And if you watch Dark, if they're not on TV.
And that's pretty dope, too. It gives them a lot of time to heal. I'm sure they've been hurting after their crazy matches over the last, decade.
But, 110%. But, when they weren't on TV, where I found out they had a Dark match when I was on AEW Dark.
It's not a Dark match if it's on YouTube or TV, man.
Yeah, I don't know why those people think that. I'm like, they're just giving us these matches because they're trying to expose us to AEW as much as they can.
People are stupid.
But anyways, and I like the whole, Tony Schiavone in the fucking event center and all that stuff. It's good stuff. But let's talk about the last week. One of my complaints about AEW, one of my few complaints is I liked how the week before we had an Inner Circle promo. We had a segment, and last week was really wrestling heavy. They gave us a segment this week. They had Jericho in their Inner Circle roll up with their tickets and sit in the skybox and do the thing, hanging out. It was actually kind of nice seeing them react to all the matches happening. They would cut to the Jericho guys and be like, whoa, I was like, hey,
I like it a lot.
It's not just them in the skybox and we know they're there, but let's not show their reactions to them. They're showing, the Bucks and the Best Friends. They were showing Sammy Guevara, be like, whoa, you know what I mean? It was good stuff.
Sammy Guevara needs a tan.
100%. And I liked Cody Rhodes coming out to cutting a promo with Tony Schiavone. It was just a moment. And in my brain, for some reason, I'm like, I can't wait. I don't know when it's going to happen for the day Tony Schiavone's in the ring with Jericho and they're cutting a promo because I'm just like, wow, 1997, 98 Jericho vibes.
He's going to call him Tony Schiavone or something like that.
Schiavone and stuff. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm like, I can't wait till that happens.
What's up, Tom Schiavone?
I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to be such a throwback. And Cody, we talked about this in Carl. Everyone was taking the dig.
He is just a king to them, man.
Oh, he's the man.
Nobody gets reactions like that in any wrestling right now.
And how did that happen?
Other than maybe the Fiend.
How and when did that happen?
I don't know. Can you name a Cody match?
The one with Nick Aldis is the one I like the most, but
you were there live.
Yeah, and the one with Dustin, the stuff he's done with AEW. That's probably why.
The one with Dustin, and I remember seeing one on the internet with Kurt Angle. I thought was pretty good.
The one in Revolve,
but it pretty much shows you. And it's a lot of the older school guys say that too. A good match never drew any dimes. All the dimes are drawn before the match, right?
Yeah. He had
and the point I was trying to make is you can't really name a Cody match, but he's the most over guy. He's the biggest star. The fans love him. It shows you that the storytelling and character work is really the most important.
And that's the thing. That's a big point. And
he knows that.
I was going to start throwing out some matches he had in WWE that I remember, but that doesn't matter to your point because the point is true. It's his promos.
The one I remember the most was Big Show, the table match.
The table match, but also I was remembering his matches with the Shield guys, with Dustin and all that stuff.
Oh, those were good tag matches.
Those are solid matches, his moonsault off the cage. And
the ones with stories come across so much better. He knows how to do the stories.
He's good at that stuff. And like his matches with Orton in that one in 2011, those are the only things I remember seeing on SmackDown I really enjoyed. And the whole like, anyways, but that's not the point because you're right. The point, he does have good matches, but I'm sitting here trying to dig at remembering which ones were good. It's his character right now because he had great matches in the WWE, but he was never over to that extent. Why is he over in AEW and he's still having good matches? It's because of his stories and his promo work. And he's one of the guys that have been pushing really hard to make feel like a top guy. That whole promo we got last week. But the thing is,
they haven't even done anything to make him a top guy. The crowds made him a top guy. Yeah. Anytime they show his face, they explode. They really haven't pushed him much. Yeah, he has the good record and this and that.
And his promos on YouTube
who's
and
he
all
really
that
wrestled?
stuff.
He beat Dustin. That's his older brother. He's an older guy veteran, right? Who did he get a tie with, like Darby? Like he's having these matches. He hasn't been getting this Superman push. The crowd just loves him. They're his guy. He's the AEW. To them, it's like the opposite, where WWE has trained us to kind of hate them because the Authority's always the bad guy. Vince is always the bad guy. Triple H and Stephanie was the bad guy. They haven't done anything on TV, but through social media, through the build-up to AEW, through All In, everything, Cody's been like the face of it, and they love him. And right now, I honestly think, and I know, and this is the point I want to get to with Cody, because he did take that dig at the WWE. I don't know why people are so bothered at that.
I don't know why people are bothered about it.
It has people talking.
Because if they do it, they do it. Back in the original Monday Night Wars, and I know this is an award, those guys were taking digs back and forth.
Well, people are saying like, "Oh, this would be so much better if you didn't do that." Like, really? When they take a shot at WWE, that's what's preventing you from thinking. Yeah,
and honestly, I'll tell you right now, if I posted a clip. And I got edited all the shots I took at WWE in one clip and I posted on Instagram. That would probably be one of the most liked and conversed clips on my page because it gets a reaction out of people. Yeah. And that's what the WWE doesn't have to.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do this.
They don't need to do it, but it's like, are you guys talking about it now?
Real sports, best NBA games, best NFL games when they're chirping the lead up to the game.
Yeah, and that was a perfect way to do it. Yeah, him and Jericho both did come from that other place. You could use it there. It makes sense. And I think he said it in a way to signify like, hey guys, I'm just reminding you, we are different than them. This isn't going to be one of those promos when I'm in the ring, he's up there, and we're not going to, like, we're not, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't.
That's the whole point he's trying to say is like, we're different from them. It's not like in WWE, I'm going to be in the ring, you're up there, and I'm not going to come after you or something. This is going to end in the talking segment. Like, something's going to happen because this is AEW. He's trying to give you the unpredictable feeling that AEW has that you're not going to get from the WWE. WWE feels very segmented. Things don't happen like that. Or Rusev went to go chase Lana 30 minutes ago, and we're not going to see them fight till like 40 minutes later. I can come at you right now. You know what I mean? There's no stopping me. Like, maybe that's what he was taking a shot on, that actual segment. Who knows? But my point is, I don't think I'm bothered. It doesn't ruin anything for me. It doesn't take anything away from me that they're taking digs at the WWE.
It makes you talk.
Yeah.
And you're just like, ooh. And then the people that are just like, oh, you don't need to do that. Well, you were clearly watching and listening to every word.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep doing it.
And you're just maybe too pro WWE that you're just like, you know. Because
it's a grow up. It's a TV show.
Some of the stuff is
like,
cheesy.
do you watch other TV shows and say, "Oh, why is this character hating on that character?"
But now my point of all this is, do you think Cody's over because he almost seems like the flag bearer of AEW because he's the one that's throwing all these shots? He's the one breaking the throne.
That's almost literally what I was saying for the last 2 minutes.
I know, but I just wanted to like wrap it around that one point. Like,
yeah,
I think that's a huge part of it because he's taking all these shots. Because out of all the guys, out of the box and everybody, he's the one that takes the most shots. Yeah, specifically.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Even Moxley doesn't take shots at WWE as much as Cody does.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it because now all the people that are 100% loyal to AEW, like, he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Bucks, not John Moxley, not even Chris Jericho, not even, what's his name? Kenny Omega, who you would think would be the biggest star here.
He was the guy that got held back.
Yeah. That's fair. But I mean, like, and that's the other thing I want to get to. You'd think Kenny Omega would be the biggest star, but Cody seems like the biggest star.
I never thought he was going to be the biggest star.
I thought he was going to be one of the biggest attractions. And he doesn't feel like it at all.
Jericho, Paige, Pac, Cody.
Because Kenny doesn't feel important,
man. I said right from the beginning that he's not going to be the top guy. He's not going to get their belt.
He's not Kenny Omega.
He will eventually.
Yeah, but he's not Omega of Japan. That was
he wasn't on TV every week in Japan. He wasn't having to cut all these promos all the time. His promos were like video productions, and he got to really think about it. And he was very produced by New Japan by all accounts. And he got to go and have these matches with Okada.
Yeah.
And it's like how you say you expect different things out of different wrestling.
Yeah.
When you watch New Japan, you need to have those good matches, and that's what he's being judged on.
So are you saying?
But now he's also not getting the push either.
Yeah.
So who knows what happens once he starts getting the push? How big he might feel,
and how people get invested into it. But as of right now,
I think
do you think Kenny Omega is not built for weekly TV?
No,
as of
that's
right now?
not it. I think they know they have Kenny in the chamber, and they're building up other people. His stock might go down a little bit, but he's not going to lose all of it.
Yeah.
People still know he's like a top guy.
So another thing I want to point out before we get back to the brawl, because I have a lot of things I want to say about that were funny and not funny and whatnot. But Omega versus John.
Who?
Joey Janela.
Like what? I honestly didn't
The
know
bad boy, Joey Janela. For months, okay?
Janela sucks, man.
For months, you already answered my question. I'm asking you, but for months, and for years, from my perspective, watching Joey stuff, hearing people talk about Joey, watching Joey documentaries and things. You
love him.
No, I was very intrigued by him for years. For not even years, for like the last year.
You can tell he was never trained to wrestle.
From like 2018, 19, I only became aware of him like last year. I didn't know who he was before that.
I don't know how anybody that came from like the LA dojo or the New Japan dojo could ever take this guy seriously.
Because I know his whole story. He never was trained to wrestle properly. He started wrestling
and he's proud of it.
And this and that. Like, I just showed up in shows. I lied about my age. I took these
matches, like every English and Mexican wrestler on the planet did. But they actually trained.
Anyways, but one point I was getting to is that he always says, I want to show people I can do more than hardcore wrestling. I can actually have wrestling matches. I want to have wrestling matches. Thus far in AEW, most of his wrestling matches have been like hardcore street
because I think
things.
Even the EVPs don't believe he can.
So finally, for the first time this week, he had a match with Kenny Omega.
They had one on Dark too.
Yeah, but it was a street fight. Yeah. This was his first wrestling. Besides the match with Brendan Cutler, I'm not going to count that.
Yeah.
This was his first wrestling match on live television in a no hardcore rules, no street fights, no gimmicks. I was asking how you feel about it. I already know.
Right from the entrance, I was just like, no.
I think it was okay.
The entrance wasn't even good. At least have a good entrance. You have a good entrance, we'll forget about the match.
I think it was okay. I don't think it was great. I think it was okay, but I think that more.
I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit. It wasn't the worst piece of shit ever. It wasn't the worst thing on the show.
Kenny is a big part of that, but
he's pretty much the whole thing.
Like
all he really had to do, was sell, and he's not even that good at that.
Yeah, I guess no. He sold that last finish.
How hard is it to pretend you're dead? That's not selling, man.
That's fair.
Anybody that you've ever listened to a podcast, interview, read a book, playing dead's not selling.
No, that's fair, but it looked cool.
Remember that time Roman Reigns did that and they're all chanting Roman sleeping?
Yeah, but visually it looked cool.
Because Kenny's knees are sick.
Because the sound and the way we reacted and then the one ring.
I could watch the V trigger all day.
The V trigger, that's what it's called.
I could watch that all day.
Every time he does it, it's solid. But I just want to get your opinion on that really quickly because I know you're not the biggest Janela fan.
There's a place for him on the card for sure. He's got a fan base. And he seems like
a top guy?
He seems like a great. Of course not. He seems like a great guy, and he seems like very likable. I'm sure people like him. He's not gonna. Dude, he's not gonna. He's not gonna. Dope dude. He's not gonna disrupt the locker room, anything like that. He definitely has a place on the show. I mean, he's not so horrible that he should never be on TV. But it's just like he's not for me, and I don't think I speak for myself. I think I speak for a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that say that, and I just I want to get your opinion on it because that match did happen. That was his first like non-gimmicky wrestling match, and I just want to see what your thoughts were. But back to the brawl. Cody cut a good promo. He's gonna go challenge. He's gonna go run up and get face to face with Chris Jericho, guys. He was not gonna stay in the ring and let them talk crap. And obviously, backup had to come out because Jericho's like, "You're gonna take on all four of us." Out comes, who was it first? I know MJF came out. Oh, Dustin came out first, and then Jericho made the jokes about, your brother's coming to save you. Yeah. And then obviously MJF's music
Jericho's
hit.
So good off the cuff, man.
MJF's music hit, and like first things first, I want to talk MJF pop. He's over. He's over with the fans. The moment his music hit,
he's been over.
I know, but it was just the pop in Pittsburgh. I was like, I watch him like, this guy's. I'm so happy. Like he's really over.
He's never said a wrong thing on the mic,
and he's been his commitment and dedication to who he is.
He's gonna be one of those guys.
Is amazing.
He's gonna be one of those guys 10 years from now. We're not gonna be able to name a single one of his matches.
I know he's not a match guy. He's a character guy.
But it won't matter. It won't matter, and I don't think it does matter.
Tell me your favorite Ted DiBiase match.
I like watching good matches, but I don't need it.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And I was really happy about the pop he got. I love the comment about Jericho making fun of him about wearing a scarf because the irony behind it and everything. Yeah,
who wears a scarf?
Yeah,
that's scared of a guy with a scarf.
Jericho's gold. And then obviously you could expect so many other people to come out
because he could have went the easy way and been like, I invented scarves or something like that. No, he's like, a scarf. Scarf, what kind of tough guy are you?
Yeah, and then once again Jericho reinventing himself the 1 millionth time. Probably won't wear a scarf again, hopefully. And then Kenny Omega. It could have been anybody, but out comes DDP for that pop, and it was a cool moment.
MJF didn't seem to be a big fan of DDP.
No, well, MJF is still teetering on that. I don't like anybody. Cody's my best friend. I don't care about Dustin.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, I don't care about Dustin.
I love that. That's my favorite one. I don't care about DDP. The roller coaster.
Yeah, I only care about Cody. I'm here for Cody, and I love how he's playing that role. He shouldn't be friends with all the other babyfaces. It's just Cody. I love it. But they all came out and they go up there. My only gripe, and the reason why I wrote Santana and Ortiz. You
need a shirt that says "My Only Gripe." That's one of your main things. You can never just love something.
Cause no, I don't want to be that guy that just loves everything AEW does and then shits on a bunch of stuff WWE does. So the thing that I would have done different about this is I think Ortiz and Santana should have probably brought the guys outside and shouldn't have hit in the room.
That's what you meant when you said this?
Yeah, they should have Not when like
Ortiz and Santana should have brawled first.
Yeah, they should have brawled with like DDP and Dustin.
I like that.
Yeah. Should have. Yeah. This is like free cuff notes that nobody's supposed to see. But I felt like they should have fought with like Dustin and like DDP or something while Jericho and Guevara went into the room.
You couldn't just enjoy the brawl, eh?
I enjoyed it though. I just mean like them hiding or not trying to fight as the tough guys they were like last week, ready to fight anybody. Would have been cool if they stayed out there and brawled and then it came down to Ortiz.
Maybe they really want him to get booed against the Bucks. I don't know.
Maybe, but that's more. It's not even a big deal. But that's
playing tough guys is like way too babyface.
That's one detail that I was like.
But then you just want to cheer them, and the inner circle is supposed to get booed, and they are like the coolest thing about the inner circle. So you gotta watch that. It's a fine line there.
That's why
they're really cool. It's like we were saying about the Street Profits.
Yeah, I don't want to see them running away, but at the same time,
Santana and Ortiz are cool.
Yeah.
So and right now the inner circle's got good. They got good bad guy feel to them. So you can't make these guys be too badass.
And you can't make them
like weren't they like asking the police for help or something? Yeah, like
and you can't be too pansy either.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm okay with it. The way it played out was fine, but I would have been like DDP and Dustin go out.
I'd love for them, especially while they're heels, to be like, come at me, and then like hold me back. You're lucky this guy's holding me back.
Or like the enforcers, like Jericho should send them out like hound dogs. Like you two go get him, and then him and Guevara ran through him.
See, then that kills. That makes them look like weaker. Right now, they all kind of look like equal footing.
Yeah, no, fair. That's true too.
You can't make them lackeys.
But I did like the small details of they're behind the glass window and Jericho's taunting him, and then he looks at the scarf and he takes it, like the small details that they did do, and that was really cool. But the whole segment gave me WCW vibes, but not in a bad way. I actually enjoyed WCW, and I thought it was cool, man. That's good stuff.
Why is that?
It's just like the whole, the brawl in the stand and like the promos you do all the time. The promo from the guy in the skybox ring, I know a lot of people have done it, but it always reminds me of DDP.
It hasn't been done that
Savage.
Much. It really hasn't been done that much.
Savage used to always show up in the crowd and cut a promo from
You know how I know
there.
it hasn't been done that much? I bet you can name every time it's been done in the last 30 years.
The only ones I'm thinking about is the Savage DDP stuff and the Hogan with the Savage guys. A lot of WCW.
ECW One Night Stand,
and then Evolution, the Skybox cutting promos.
It hasn't really been done. And then they had those random attitude era. Also, sometimes people would be watching in the Skybox.
Once in a blue moon, Dean Ambrose.
Vince McMahon would be up there, and
Dean Ambrose would be up there with Rollins, but it's very random.
It hasn't had happened that much. You make it sound like it's like a common thing.
I know, but it just gave me WCW because I remember it most from WCW. Guys in the Skybox and guys in the ring cutting promos and like the wrestler being surrounded by the crowd and like, you know what I mean? And then once again, when I say it reminded me of WCW, I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm not saying it is WCW. I like that it reminds me of WCW because I miss WCW. I'm a WCW fan. So when I get that WCW feel, I'm like, oh, this is cool, man. Because it's not WWE. Because WWE will always feel like WWE.
I think a lot of what we liked about WCW was just because they had recognizable names.
And the chaos. And let's be honest, AEW has recognizable names, man. Jericho, Cody Rhodes.
They have like 2 or 3.
You know? But if you're a wrestling fan, they're recognizable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Outside the bubble, people will know who Chris Jericho is.
And DDP?
Probably.
Old school stuff,
Yeah, people know the Diamond Cutter.
But, that's pretty much it with AEW. The main event, Moxley and Pac, was a really good match. I like the time limit draw.
I like it.
I like it. It would have been weird for either guy to go over.
It's not such a shit finish.
Yeah,
it's legitimate.
And it was good. It was solid. Solid match. And both guys.
If you start building in that AEW world that there's time limits, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it was good, man. And it added to the.
How dare he DDT the ref? He better receive
a strict
fine and a hefty suspension.
But it added to the tension when there was like 5 minutes left in the match. Like, oh my god, how's it gonna finish? Like, it added to like what's gonna happen.
They still have not given Moxley a live mic yet.
No, just back to his promo.
What is it? 4 weeks?
Maybe next week.
Give him a mic on TV, man.
It hasn't happened yet. You're right. And one of his biggest complaints about WWE is that his promos and the script and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but his creator's been dope though.
It has, and Pox has been great. I honestly. Once again, every week thus far, like Pac is one of those guys I look forward to seeing.
He's a standout, man.
Like just personally, like Pac's one of the things I look up.
He just feels like a badass. He feels like a tough guy.
He feels like a star.
And he's just ripped.
He just feels like a star, and he's a bastard, and I love his character, and it's just good stuff.
Bastard.
And he's a little bit of a wild card. You never know what he's gonna do because he's not really feuding with anyone specifically.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be messing with Moxley and whatever. Maybe he'll go after Hangman again.
He can do a real bad guy thing and try to fight lower card guys to get his record back up, something like that. That's the kind of stuff they can have in their story.
There is one thing I was thinking once again, and we probably did talk about it at some point when we talked about AEW in the past. I am waiting for them just to introduce a middle card title. Just another title under the world title.
They don't need it yet.
They don't need it yet, but eventually.
Maybe after this tag stuff's going on, because right now they're easily filling up their cards with tag teams.
Let the tag stuff get established. Let the world title get established. Let the women's. I just eventually, because there are guys like Shawn Spears and Janela's, and guys I don't ever see really being in the heavyweight title picture. Maybe they will, but I don't see it yet.
I think guys like
Darby Allin.
I think guys like Janela and Spears is below where they would want their mid card title to be. They're a lower card.
But even like having Darby Allin have a long run with the mid card title before he goes up.
He's upper mid card.
Yeah, before going for the heavyweight title again. Like they need that title
for those guys. You want it to be an upper mid card title. You don't want Janela or Spears anywhere near it.
And once again, not to compare to WWE, but the fact that it is just one show, one roster, there's going to be 4 bouts. That title will be easy to make feel special and important.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, it's not hard to have an important mid-card
title. I think it's hard when there's a bunch of titles and there's 2 shows and there's US and then if there's just one. I think they have a really good shot at making it feel important. Yeah. And they have the right amount of people on the roster thus far to do it. And I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, once again, both shows were amazing this week for Wednesday. Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's whatever. Raw was decent. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this week SmackDown gets decent other than full gear of their new rosters and stuff.
Maybe I'll check it out on Saturday.
But NXT and AEW stole this week. And personally, AEW was great. Top to bottom, I loved the brawl. I loved that they had a segment. I loved the matches. The main event was great. But NXT stole the show for me this week. Just really, really good matches. And the Prince is back, man. Finn Balor is heel. I don't know what they can do with it, but
I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm excited to see where it goes. It left me excited. And like for NXT, which is, for me personally, haven't like really been like, I need to watch NXT this week.
Yeah,
you know?
We'll see.
I actually want to watch NXT next week.
Yeah.
If for anything, what happens with Finn Balor?
Yeah, no, and that's all they really, and we've said that about the other shows before, all you really need is one hook.
Yeah.
We don't need the whole thing to be good. Just give me 1 or 2 good things.
Yeah.
We don't need, because AEW is giving us a lot.
Yeah.
I only need 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You watch your TV shows, 1 or 2 main things are happening.
Because NXT's never, like, I've always known that if I watch NXT, I'm going to get good wrestling matches, but there's never been nothing that's like.
There has been. You just don't watch.
What? Like Ciampa getting attacked and like.
They always have like hooks in main storylines.
Because Velveteen Dream's promo a couple weeks ago, like it was great, but it didn't make me want to watch next week. Yeah. Velveteen Dream getting attacked last week was great, but didn't make me want to watch next week. Ciampa coming back was cool, but didn't really make me want to watch next week.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say. NXT's been in the takeover eras has been a lot of years, so saying that this is like the first time that.
No, for me that like for in a while.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I guess I don't know. It's
personally, we're different. You watch it regularly. I don't, and then like the stuff.
That's why I don't understand why you're making that comment when you haven't really watched.
There's never because I see highlights all the time. It's not like because I'm not watching, I don't see the highlights. I don't know what's going on. I've seen the highlights. I go on YouTube, watch the highlights. I see them on Instagram.
To most
there's been nothing that's been like, oh god,
you're
watch
also
it
inside the bubble though. You know who Balor is. You care about Balor.
Exactly.
To somebody outside, that's not a hook. That's just something that happened.
Yeah, but I'm hyped.
It's a hook to you because you like Balor.
Exactly.
It's specific to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me. I'm excited. It made me excited for next week finally. For the
they're gonna have to impress a lot more people than you if they want.
And I think they're gonna bring fans like me in because of stuff like this, and that's smart.
They might.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
I think if they can hover around 1 million, that'll be.
I think that's a goal too, because they if
they can hover around 1 million, that'll be their sweet spot because it's super wrestling. It's super like hardcore.
Yeah.
It's not a show made for casuals or people that really aren't into wrestling.
Yeah. No, for sure. But it's solid. It's solid. I'm looking for. I think NXT slightly won this week as the better show.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm saying that because I actually watched it because the last couple of weeks I didn't watch it by the time we were recording this show, and then I was like, but I actually watched it right after AEW, and after watching back to back, the finish of NXT and the matches on, they just the different. This is the thing about one last point about AEW and NXT this week. AEW was kind of more one style of wrestling this week, besides the main event, I would say, and Joey Janela and Kenny. Like the tag matches were a lot of flippy stuff and the Bucks and all that. Where NXT did give you a little bit different things throughout the show, which I think that's what stood out for me more. The wrestling was different through every match, and innovative and creative. That triple threat match, some of the stuff that those 3 guys did, not to repeat myself over and over again, was really stuff I don't remember.
NXT is always like that, man.
So it's solid stuff. It's a solid show, and we'll see what I say next week. Maybe AEW will come back, or maybe NXT will be the standout show again. I think it's cool to pick one at the end of every show, though, and I think this week was probably NXT out of those 2 shows. And last week we said AEW was the show of the week, so we'll see what the show of the week is next week. Maybe one of these weeks Raw and SmackDown win. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll say Crown Jewel is the best show of the week. Who knows?
Yeah.
But other than that, I appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in to the TWC Show this week. You know where you can find me, The Wrestling Classic, on Instagram, TWC Worldwide on Twitter, which I don't really use that much. You can watch us on The Vibe on YouTube, archive shows on the Wrestling Classic YouTube channel. And yeah, man, you can find Devin on Twitter at DLL1990. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Once again, react and respond to all the stuff we talked on here. Give us some questions. Talk about some stuff. Let us know all the stuff we talked about. Like, who do you think would be the best match for Bret Hart? Edge return. Who would you like to see him feud with? Let us know your thoughts on NXT, AEW, Raw, and SmackDown. What was the best show of the week? Let us know. And yeah, man, I think we should wrap that up for this week, brother.
Yeah, I need to go blow my nose. Hopefully, I'm not sniffling in these.
You sound and look like you want to get the hell out of here, and you're dying, dude. And I feel really bad. So we're gonna wrap this up.
It's just because when you made it seem like you're gonna end the show, my whole body prepared for it, and then you yapped on and on for like another 7 minutes. So I was just like, oh, my body got really confused.
The show is over. Devin is sick. I hope you get better.
Thanks,
we'll
man.
See you all next week. Ooh, yeah, dig it.
Bye.